Welcome to Panther City Rebellion Podcast, Episode 1.
Today's episode is pre-recorded inside of Deadwood Studios, located at Platinum Music Complex in Northern Hills, Texas. You can find more info out about this place at platinummusiccomplex.com.
And if you'd like to be a sponsor of our podcast, or you might like to be a guest, please email us at panthercityrebellion@gmail.com. And
shout out to all those that followed us this past week and subscribed to our YouTube page and social media pages. I don't know what was in the water, but it went from like 8 to 323 in like 2 days.
But yet, I still don't have a sponsor on my cup.
Not yet.
I brought it up.
It's coming.
You want to sponsor this cup? It's just for you. I mean, I just want a cup sponsor.
I mean, it's not too far out of the
I drink
reach.
out of this all the time. It'll be on camera a lot because I have to keep things moist.
Oh,
well, there we go.
Everybody listening right now that hates that word just went, oh.
You beat me to it.
Hey, let's give a shout out to the guys back in the control room.
Yeah.
We got old Dirty Matt Thomas back there.
Mr. Craig Youngblood, Western Soul Photography, running the switcher. Man on the audio.
No Skip Redstone.
Thank goodness. Redstone.
It's not about me.
We heard that Matt might surprise all of you guys here pretty soon with an apron.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open in the
down the road. We'll see what happens.
That's a teaser. That is
a teaser.
He's got glorious legs.
Well, should we introduce our guest?
No.
All right.
Fuck this guy.
So what have you been up to?
Skip past him for a minute. Man, I've been a lot better than you.
Yeah.
I stayed home while it was iced over. I fucking enjoyed it. I sat by a fire. You, on the other hand, went to NAMM.
No. I sat on the beach.
And when I was
getting nice and warm.
You were sitting on the beach.
There were waves.
And then you tried to come home.
All hell broke loose.
Yeah. You tried to come home.
I've been trying to come home for 3 days.
The airport was like, sorry to tell you, but you're not leaving today. You're going to, yes.
That's how I ended up coming home.
Yeah.
So I flew out. We teased it on our little warm-up show last week. Flew out to Anaheim to go to NAMM. And had a lot of fun. Saw a bunch of people, saw a bunch of friends out there, a ton of musicians, saw a bunch of shows, enjoyed nice SoCal weather there in Anaheim as it was a balmy 63 degrees every day.
Oh, it's just fucking horrible.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
While everyone was
minus 63
praying
here.
that their power didn't go out, I was on the beach running around barefooted. I even got in the ocean. Me and my buddy Eric Delegard jumped in the ocean for a little bit, swam around with the dolphins and the porpoises. And then, we were like, you know what? We've had enough of this. We should probably come home on Sunday. And that turned into Monday. And then that turned into Tuesday. And I finally got on the last plane in.
We were supposed to be doing this last night.
Yeah.
And I remember, hitting our guest up going, hey, man, can we switch to Wednesday? I felt so bad. I was just like,
I've never been involved
very unprofessional
in anything like that. Like I flew back from Ireland once, and I got stuck in Philly because there were tornadoes here going across DFW and Love Field and crap. So they're like, well, all flights to DFW are canceled for the rest of the night. So I was like, okay. I had to spend the night, got up the next morning, flew back. No big deal. But this multi-day, 9 flights, I signed up for 9 flights. I got on the 9th one. I nearly, if last night's would have been canceled, I was going to call you guys and be like, here's the deal. I'm not coming home. till Friday because I'm taking Amtrak home and I'm going to enjoy my trip across the country, stopping in all these cool towns and just make an adventure out of it. Because I was done with American. American blows.
Agreed.
And as
100%.
yesterday morning, as I'm sitting in the hotel room waiting to go back over the airport, a news story came up that said that American and God, what was the other one? Are the worst airlines right now because of all their cancellations.
Spirit, maybe?
No, Spirit was at the top of the list, right behind. Number one was Southwest Airlines.
Okay, I agree with that.
Number two was Spirit, which Spirit's always been an issue airline.
They're the Motel 6 of the sky.
Yeah, but American is last on the list.
What?
The last airline on the list.
I don't know.
I mean, they used to love to fly and it showed, but not anymore.
Should we talk about this guy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, our guest today, for those out there listening, is Mr. Maddox Messer from the band Messer. He's a producer, bass player, guitar player. Started out as a guitar player in Messer, then went to bass. Editor, podcast owner.
Rumor has it, influencer.
Yeah, influencer. All the things. Welcome, buddy.
Have you ever brewed beer or I don't know?
Not beer. New phone. Who dis?
You practiced alchemy?
No.
Other things we can add to your title there?
Sommelier of cannabis. I'm a
There you
cannabis sommelier.
Connoisseur.
All right.
Is that even a thing? I don't know.
What's your go-to strain these days?
You know what? I am a classic kind of like sativa guy. I like limey stuff like limeades and
Okay.
sour diesels and super lemon hazes.
Those were my go-to for gummies this last weekend.
Yeah, I love those. Those are great.
I laughed because Cousin Walk is now a new strain. Came across?
I haven't heard of that one.
Cousin Walk.
Cousin Walk.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
What?
Makes sense.
That's what you're supposed to do after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, you
That's
take the walk with your
Thanksgiving.
cousin. That's everybody's first time smoking. They took a walk
Yeah.
with the older cousins, and next thing you know, you're Alabama married.
As they say, cousins
Damn.
make dozens.
Oh, my God.
You want me to keep going? There's more.
Nope.
Closer kin, deeper in.
It's the best puts your sister to the test.
We're canceled like 6 minutes in.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you two just went,
Yeah.
kicked us right off. Well, dude, you kind of handle everything. You're kind of a jack of all trades, you know.
I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
You do.
Including this one.
In Messer, you were kind of the one that deep dove into the production side of everything.
Yeah.
Messer.
I'm definitely the production nerd.
Yeah.
For all of that stuff. You know, you were just talking about NAMM, and you know, my first experience at NAMM was like back in like, I want to say 2010 or 2011. It's a little fuzzy. I was still drinking back then, probably. But I remember going to that very first NAMM convention, and I was just like, this is incredible. We were there signing and like in a booth and doing that thing. So we had like all access like the whole weekend and everything. And, you know, it was just overwhelming seeing all of the new gear. But it was actually at that moment, at that trip, that I was walking around that convention for several days, just listening. I just listened a lot. I walked around and I listened, and I was picking up on what these people were talking, and those people were talking at this booth and at that booth. And then at that moment is when I realized, oh, this is the future. I knew what was happening with the future of live sound. And then I instantly went back home and just started buying gear and trying to piece together what inevitably became our very first rig that we had built. You know, it's funny, I've been watching all the highlight stuff and seeing all the stuff, Dante and Maddie, and we were having those Dante conversations back in 2010. Like, I went to my first like Rednet Dante thing with the sound guy from Foo Fighters, like, you know, years ago. And so we've been going down and chasing that rabbit hole, and it's so cool today to see all of the things. Nick, my assistant engineer that has been like my right-hand man through all this stuff, we're just like, man, we used to talk about that. Remember how great it would be for this and for that, and then to see it all coming together, and then not only see it come together, but see it be accessible to just pretty much anybody now. We were talking about like the first time that we were even rolling our first version of our live rig around. People were looking at us funny. What is this? And I've never seen this. And the fact of the matter is, at that time, we started out using a Personas live console. That was like the first live Personas console before we went all into the rack. But a lot of these smaller venues had never seen a digital console ever. This was their first time. It was also their first time experiencing 96K audio, in their systems, And so, it was just really, it's really cool now to see how accessible all that gear has gotten. If you only knew how much money it cost me in the beginning to build. Hell, it's had several different renovations throughout the years. Yep. One of the biggest ones was just when we started networking everything, and everything went from, I had everything Mogami Gold, custom made, cable, point to point, the whole thing. And then everything started getting shrunk down to just Cat 6 cables, and the amount of weight that we took off, just going from analog snake to digital snake.
And then optical to where... Yeah. And then you're all worried about bending an optical cable.
Well, I have optical in my studio for sure, but I would never try to take a piece of glass pipe out on the road. I think that would scare me. But
that would really scare me.
Not that glass pipe, but...
And today, you've dug into a lot of like the Atmos audio.
1,000%, yeah.
It's crazy.
And again, I was kind of headed towards that. I don't know how or where I'd seen the Atmos stuff early on. It was probably, I was on a deep Dolby dive one time. It's like, oh, okay, this is coming soon. Yeah. And when we were mixing, I don't remember which track it was that we were mixing, but as soon as our mixer got a Dolby Studio put in, we were like the very first. It was actually Ben Gross, his studio, the mix room in Burbank, which has recently been sold and not been retired now. But his engineer, Paul Pavia, who's been the assistant and then inevitably became the mixer on all the Messer music, up until our most recent thing. We were their first kind of guinea pig in their Dolby Atmos room, and get them kind of tuned. And it's really funny is that we went back and we remixed our whole entire back catalog in Dolby. And one of the learning curves early on is that for one, TuneCore, nobody had a way to upload it. Nobody had a serviceable way to how could you service your Dolby Atmos mix? None of the DSPs had that at the moment. And a lot of our music's distributed through 1RPM, and they don't have a forward-facing Dolby uploading. I think only TuneCore now does. I think maybe DistroKid and a few other ones have a forward-facing Atmos upload.
Well, how did y'all do it?
We had to go through the back. Yeah, our manager
through the back
and
in, just straight up into Apple, or
no. We handed over to our DSP tech department, and they forced it in. We were the very first band at 1RPM that delivered a full. Here's our whole back catalog on Dolby Atmos. And so it was kind of like an experiment. Now, like I said, now it's easy. You know what I mean? Now it's
so. When you say y'all were a guinea pig, did you sit in the studio while he was mixing it all? Like, were you sitting there going, like, I want my vocals over here, and I need the guitar
on the Dolby
here.
On the Dolby Atmos stuff? So I did go to LA and sit in and mix. The initial knee jerk response was start moving shit around and flying this and
because you can, and it looks cool.
It doesn't mean you should.
No,
doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Yeah.
Because the more that we started to kind of play with it, the more ear fatigue and listener fatigue that I think was happening. Here's one thing too. I'll just be honest right now. I will tell you. For one, it's just how the codec works. spatial audio isn't loud enough for my personal taste.
It's not for me either.
You can't get it loud enough. I also don't like Bluetooth, but I also don't like how spatial audio in the headphones sounds. Now, if you have the privilege of going, like Alex Gerst has a great Dolby room, which we did a listening thing over there with our mixes in his little tight, he's got a tight little Dolby room. It's great.
It's awesome.
Love it. It is a different listening experience in that regard. Now, ain't nobody consumer level sitting in a 9.2 Dolby Atmos room listening to, I mean, you got to be super pinky out audiophile type guy, and then you're probably not sitting in a spatial audio room. You're probably sitting in front of, something crazy. But you'll never get to experience it like that unless you go into a place that has that, because the fold down in the headphones isn't quite the same.
It's there. You get the experience, but like you're saying, it's 100% different when you're in an actual room that's dedicated to it.
Here's where I think it's a good idea for, and a great way, is to record a live performance with spatial headphones, the spatial microphone. You've seen look at the head and in the center of the stage, and then have you can listen to see what it sounds like standing over here, or what does it sound like standing over there. But I don't know that for just like what we do, mainstream music, is there anything really to be done with it that's, you start getting into film, you start getting into movies, you start getting into video game production. It's amazing. But we did go, we got to have this guitar solo, do this song, go around. I mean, you could, sure.
Yeah.
But I think I just wanted to, you put the listener in the center. That's the difference. That's really the difference. If we're explaining that to anybody here, first of all, let's do that.
There's a dude, Chris Howell, which is going to be coming on here. He has Cafe Solo Studios up in Denton. And when he was mastering our record, when he's mixing it, he'll mix it. He's one of the few people I know that can be the guy who mixes and the guy who masters. He knows how to turn his brain off, turn his ears off from one thing, give it a week, and come back and master and turn that brain on. And the thing that we were trying to accomplish with Deadwood was there's so much acoustic, so many acoustic instruments being played. There's no electric guitars and stuff. He was saying he mixes from standing in the center of the stage. He likes to, the kick is behind you and the guitar's over here and the bass is over here. And that's how he mixes. And then he masters where he's like standing out in front.
Sure.
And I told him, I was like, you know what, man, you should flip that around. Mix like you're standing out running a live show, and then master it like you're in front, the middle of the stage. And he did. And it was just like, oh my God, what a difference. Yeah. Just so aggressive with fiddle and banjo and upright and acoustic, but aggressive to a point of where some people even go, is that live? And I'm like, no, that is tracked. But you make a good point on the whole, like, for the Atmos stuff or where you're mixing at. That is a thing I don't think that a lot of people think about when they are mixing down something, is take yourself out of the studio. It's kind of like when you're doing vocals in a studio. Like, you ever notice like vocalists struggle with being as animated on the mic in a studio as they are when they're live? And people are like, why don't you sound it, And it's because they can hear every clicking little thing going on.
And besides being an audiophile, it makes me wonder, like, we go through all this for our own enjoyment, for our own product, and like, listening to it later, we can be proud of it and everything. But you got a lot of people that walk around with AirPods and all the other different little headphones and everything. I wonder how many people actually know that there's spatial audio on their device. Like, they can get to it.
I mean, I think a lot of people, Apple, it's because Apple really has rolled out that spatial audio. They
have a whole section.
That is actually their own brand of, it is Dolby Atmos, but they were somehow able to rebrand it as spatial audio. And that's really just a branding thing. But
Does Spotify offer it?
Spotify does. You have
Okay.
to go in and select in your settings, which I have on all of my phones to have it be available, but I don't always choose it for listening. Like I said, for me, it's not loud enough, and for two,
That's the other problem.
I have a really hard time with Bluetooth compression. Like I can hear all the holes. It sounds like a perforated sound
Yeah.
to me. It's not good.
I have a problem with heavy music in general being Atmos because I haven't found anything that sounds great or better than the original mix.
I mean, I will tell you, a part of the reason for that too is you start introducing so much phase.
Yeah.
When you start having all those extra points, and all that phase can turn something that, let's say, like a live instrument, and specifically when you're referring to like acoustic live instruments, which are so delicate, those and to the tuning and the frequencies of the physical sound waves. Okay, so with electric music, obviously, electronic music, you can dial in specific sound wave frequencies, and you can start to get more, response from a speaker. Like that's why those EDM shows are so why intense, is because they're working with perfect sound waves.
Yeah.
Right? And when a human is doing it, I don't give a shit how good you are.
Right.
It's going to be human.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Always will be variances.
that is why I feel like the electronic elements and the things that are like, okay, hard, grid, this is exactly 162 kilohertz. All of those kinds of things are going to work better in that because of the phasing. You're going to be able to line those things up better.
Yeah.
So going, with ours, we just really want to put the listener in the center of the room, which is really kind of what that is really designed. As typical stereo field is left and right. You start getting surround, maybe you get a left and a right and a front and a back. But with the Dolby is it's like you're literally imagine a box, and then you put your head in the middle of that box, and then the sound is anywhere inside of that box, but it's in the center. So it can be behind you, over here, it can be, in front of you, it can be anywhere. And it is meant to be immersive. I don't think when you go to a live show, the best sound is in the center of the stage. The best sound, it really is out front. And when you're getting just a full spectrum up and down. But it's cool nonetheless.
Yep.
What's really blown my mind is what they've done with old recordings.
Sure.
Old mono stereo recordings.
Yep.
And put them into the Atmos environment and what they've been able to retrieve, and how it's really, really cool. Reviving old stuff.
I had a friend that worked in for Universal out in LA before the big fire, where they lost all those masters. They lost so many masters, but
it's ridiculous.
He was an archivist, and they were having to bake tape basically to run it, to digitize it, and they were part of like the big, getting everything digitized. And sometimes they'd heat the tape up in the oven, and then as it's coming through the head on the other side, it's just crumbling into dust and pieces, because the acetate's just so gone in it. But I did go, and there is a spatial audio playlist, and you can definitely go, and I encourage anybody to at least go check it out. If you have spatial audio headphones, a lot of companies have them now, and you're going to see Atmos, if you're not already seeing it everywhere, but every home theater, it's a whole thing now. So go check out some of those old tunes. I mean, some of the Pink Floyd stuff, it's trippy, it's cool. But it's cool to go hear some of those older songs remastered.
You hear stuff you've never heard before too.
You do. There's some great. There's a great. I think it's a Genesis track that I was like, oh my god! I of course I'm listening to it in my studio. I'm like, I never heard these extra little vocal harmonies that Phil was doing, and some of that stuff, and some of the percussion stuff on Toto tracks get pretty cool too.
Kind of brings me to the next point of we sit here and we talk about stuff like this, and it's like, where do you think we're headed at now down the AI road?
That's what I was about to ask you to. You're talking about, they were talking about this years ago at NAMM. What do you think this year's all the conversations were?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
and AI in gear.
Yeah. AI learning in gear.
It's crazy.
There's tons of that. And again, it's going to only... The AI that we're all fearing isn't here yet. I say yet, but it's definitely, it's coming. I will say that, we can't ever moving forward. You can't. AI is going to be everywhere, so it's not going away.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick because this one best to show. If you can pull up my screen,
I think the future of AI really is having your own AI agent in house. Like if you can start to build, your own. It's cool to have all the chat GPT and the open source stuff, but the real reality is in the future, I see a world where, say you have a baby. On day one, you take a AI camera to that baby and you pin it to it, and that AI thing is now listening and learning from that baby's perspective from day one, and it's all being archived into a private
I like that idea.
Chat server, and so that over time you're basically having a clone of yourself in the digital world that you can have a whole career.
Now we're scared.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's coming. What the iPhone did for photography, AI is doing for music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I did have this,
and that's
from a creativity standpoint alone. Okay, imagine a world where your non-musician friends, your non-musically talented friends, maybe the funny guy at work, or whoever, and he's always coming up with stuff. Well, now that guy's funny brain or intellectual brain, or maybe he's really good at writing nice poetry, maybe is going to have access to be able to create and have that creative outlet. So it's not going to just be creatives anymore. You're going to have non-creatives being creative.
Well, I think we already have that.
Of course.
I think we already have the non-creative being creative that are just going in and typing in, I want to write a song, a heavy metal tune about blah, blah, blah. Like we've talked about that before. But the things that are becoming more readily available are like they're starting to stem things out. Now they're getting it down to where, you pay so much money, you can fucking... You can, if you like the drums on there.
I hear you.
Now they're going to stem that out.
It's not good yet. It's not good yet.
It's not.
It's not good yet.
But you think about how quick that's come, like on companies like Suno.
But
how fast it came in just 25.
If you're good at and you know what you're doing, you can make it good.
Correct.
Well,
that's what I'm getting at.
As a tool, as a producer, like what's the difference between me sitting there and prompting, I've done this where I'll scratch out a song and I'll use that song in, Suno to give me different versions of it. I've also done this, which I have, and we just haven't released it, but I did take the entire Messer catalog and feed it and make alternate language versions. I have versions of our songs in obviously Spanish. I have versions in Farsi. I'd be completely different flavors of songs because the song still will translate.
Yeah.
Maintain the melodies, change the style, change the flair. I've got songs that I've turned into country duets, and they're like, oh, wow. It's a great way because I was, hey, this song, we made it this rock song, this rock anthem, but it's also could be this great top 40 country song as well. It just hasn't been showcased in that light. I'm not saying release it and serve it up, but use it to maybe, hey, we should make this, and or just serve it up. Like what's wrong with me saying, here is all of my Messer's catalog reimagined by us, and then re-upload it as AI versions because somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually,
I mean,
somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So I might as well just put it out as well, just because it's fun. It's goddamn fun.
Oh, it is fun.
It is a lot of
totally.
fun.
It is. But I'm saying they haven't, you're right. They haven't gotten complete control of it yet. But when they do in the next couple of years,
well,
I think by the end of 26, we're going to start to see some massive control come to where, okay, now the producers out there in the world, right? You can actually change whatever the AI creates. So let's say it creates this song for you. You go, you know what? There's 20 different versions of it. And you're like, man, I like this one, but I want to change the tuning. I want to drop it down a half step, and I want the drums to do more here, and I want it to do a fill here, and I want the kick to be like. I think it'll get down to that coming within the next 2 years.
But I still think that at the upper level of things, you're still going to want to just, okay, this is great. Now let's go in and recreate it. Let's go in and recreate it, part by part, bit by bit, maybe tweak it, maybe change it.
Yeah.
But because the output, the final, and I have a expensively paid version of Suno, and the final output stuff, like I would not put out commercially. You know what I mean? It doesn't meet my personal standards for my music, but I could definitely see myself releasing, handful of these songs, and hey, here they are in this language or that language, and just labeling them what they are. There's nothing wrong with that.
We see the AI assistant coming around now. You're seeing it with Siri and so many different things. The Meta glasses. It makes me really wonder when, like, as an artist, we hire radio publishers, right? People to push us to radio, push our single to radio, that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
When are you going to get to that AI version of that, and you get to choose your assistant, what that assistant does, and you can say, hey, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's where I was getting into
this single to rock radio.
Yeah, having your private agent that you build, yourself, and it's trained on only things that you give it access to, and those kinds of things. But I also hate to burst your bubble. I don't think any music you ever make will ever have any value from a monetary standpoint ever again. We've devalued all that. The only value, and I think the thing that's going to increase is the live performance. And I can give you numerous amounts of data points to back this up, but I will tell you that small theater, small live performances, small stand-up, comedy, small real human entertainment is the future of all of that, because that's the only way you're going to know.
You're seeing more of that now. More and more people are going to these the listing room versus the
Live Nation,
versus the venue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Live Nation has been on a buying frenzy of small. They've already bought up all the theaters.
Yep.
But now they've been buying all the 350 cap size rooms.
Bastards.
And the reason why is because they firmly believe that the live ticket is undervalued by a substantial amount of money,
which is ridiculous.
And
with what they're charging,
where I'm getting is, I think they're trying to push the live ticket to a $300 ticket, almost in line with sporting events. You know what I mean? Like, to go to a sporting event, you're going to pay $300, $400 sometimes. I mean, it's going to be up there.
Well, that's the last few shows that I have looked into buying, because I don't buy tickets. Like Rush coming here.
Yeah.
You're looking at $500 minimum.
Yeah.
Just to get in the building.
Who's paying? Stop. Here's the problem. Stop paying those prices, people. Like,
that's
what I'm saying? If you
Stop
paying those prices, thank God Kid Rock is working on this thing. I saw today even that he's going, to work at Ticketmaster. You have a few, actual people who are standing up against that monopoly.
And last year, we had a bunch of tours that had to cancel because they weren't selling tickets. And I was like, all right, now we're starting to see some dominoes fall.
Right.
When some big names have to cancel their tours because they can't sell tickets, that will change what Live Nation's saying. No, we'll double down.
Yeah. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to force those into sold out smaller listening rooms where now they can charge a fewer amount of people a larger amount of money. And so that's really where it is.
I think that's going to become challenging too. It depends on the style of band that's going into that smaller room. I think about places around here, like Bartonville store up the road here. Mm-hmm. Like that's a listing room aspect. Small stage, decent sound, holds about 129 people, but they're selling it. It's ticketed for the table, but you're not just getting. You're not just paying for that. You're getting like dinner, the whole nine, a steak dinner. It's a high class thing that you're getting, but you could take a band like us and put it in there, but you couldn't take Messer and put it in there. It'd blow your fucking head off.
I will give you a case in point. Now let me. I do declare more fair. When we were out with Scott Stapp, we played a chain of live venues. I can't think of the name. They probably may not have survived the pandemic. Who knows? But they were a chain of small. One of them was in a mall. One of them was like in a nondescript kind of industrial warehouse. But they were kind of what you're describing, except they were like 1,000-seat theaters, kind of much like what we have here, right? Or like almost like medieval times. Table, row, table, row. They served a 4-course dinner. It was like a steak. This was like, it came with it. Everybody was getting steak. You're getting your choices. Whatever protein it all is, it's like all part of the ticket price. Yep. And everybody comes in. You're seated at 7:30. It's a seated, doors kind of closed. Ain't nobody coming in beyond that point. Opening band. Well, now it was weird. The first time we did one of these, we were luckily enough, we were not the opening band. We were the direct support band. So the opening band had the awkwardness of like, while everybody's sitting down, getting their orders, and their food's coming, and the servers come around, they're trying to do their set. And then on both of those, it was 2-leg tour, and both of the opening bands were probably way too heavy for that. But they also were coming out with the wrong attitude. They came out like, God, get up, motherfucker, come on, you know, like, no, that's not what this show is.
Yeah, that's not what this show is.
I instantly knew what it was, and I instantly was like, oh, hold our beers. You know what I mean? Hold my joint. Because I knew we were going to go out there and not only have an incredible sound at a reasonable decibel level, you know what I'm saying? A reasonable, listenable decibel level. But Derek was smart. He would come out and he goes, hey, you guys all, by the time we went on, plates were cleared. And they was just, they were finishing up. It was like plates were pretty much cleared. So it was great. We had their attention. Like, y'all get comfortable. Sit down. Enjoy this. Because we're about to just like, get this whole thing. And that's ended up what happened. And we ended up using it to our advantage because it allowed for people to really, hear and see, everything that's going on and not be distracted by their phones or by, people pushing around or whatever.
Totally.
They were
you read the room.
My feet weren't, and these were Scott Stapp fans, so they were our age, you know what I mean? They didn't want to be standing there all night. But they also had money, so they could afford that high-end ticket price. But I think we played 6 of these rooms like that.
That's badass.
I loved it.
Is.
I thought it was great, and I would love to do it again because, again, it's just about going in there with the right attitude.
It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know. I don't even know if they're still around. I don't even know if they're still doing it. But like what So Far was doing for a little bit.
Yeah, So Far. I don't think they're around anymore. But I've been to a couple of those So Far events, and I've actually hosted some.
I played one too.
You did? Yeah.
With my previous band.
I had a friend. She kind of started her own little thing, and she was doing for a while. We were calling them little pocket shows. I guess that's kind of a term for that.
But small little intimate shows with like a 30 to 50 person crowd.
You guys, your band is like ideal for that because you can go in literally with acoustic instruments and your voice and really break it down to like, hey, we're coming to your living room and going to do this thing. And if you have that kind of band, like I encourage. That.
We love playing smaller rooms. Yeah. That's our jam. Yeah. I like playing festivals and big concerts and whatnot. It's fun, but you put us into a 200 cap room. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's we're in our wheelhouse.
That's the great thing about playing with with a band where the focus is like on the musicianship and the instrumentation and those kinds of things. It's like you can do things like we're kind of dependent on. Although we could play small rooms, our show is always intended for the arena. Like we were like, we're going to be in arenas. Our philosophy was if we just. People are like, hey, you guys look like you should be in arenas. Like, yeah, we know. Put us there. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what is it? Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So, but
I think I like to call this the Motley Crue mentality. Motley Crue had the idea of taking stadium shows and putting them inside of little venues.
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing that we're talking about here. Yeah. But it does work. But you also got to know your clientele. Like, you got to know if you're going to go into a 150 cap room and they're going to pay $300 a ticket, you got to know that your fan base is going to pay that $300. And I think that's where Live Nation is going to fuck themselves.
Right.
Because they think they're going to be able to just control all these little shows. It's $300 a ticket. Well, there was 2 people there. Yeah. You made $600. Way to go, fuckhead.
Well, don't underestimate.
But the younger generation that's coming up listening to a band and they put them in that 300 cap room, Those kids don't have $300 fucking to go see a show.
They probably don't, but also don't underestimate the power of the algorithm.
I totally agree with you, but I also think back to when I was a teenager, like when I would go see concerts, when I saw Megadeth, when I saw Metallica.
Oh, $15, $20.
Fucking ain't right. And I would go to the Starplex and be like, just fucking, but part of that was not just the concert; it was everything going on.
Yeah,
well,
the whole
experience of being a part of the show.
I mean, let's talk about this because there's all, as you know, you're musicians. There's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? But what is the sustainable level to do it full time? Okay, so then and to really the answer to that is you either got to grind 250 shows a year,
right?
Or try to be really doing some big shows that you're headlining. So it's very hard. So, I could see.
What does the Kessler hold? 400?
Maybe. So my question really is like, what's a fair ticket price? You know what I mean? Like, what's the balance between show and ticket?
I think max on a ticket price should be somewhere around $100.
But that's $100 for what size room, though? What experience are you getting?
That's your up close, right at the fucking stage. Front row, if you got a table, your VIP. But
for $100,
GA is $20.
For $100, you'll never see a stadium or arena show again because $100 will not pay for the facility.
The production,
correct?
The facilities,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then on top of, then you have the production on top of that. Then you have.
That's where I'm getting at.
I thought we were talking about like at one of these like smaller places.
That's where I'm getting at. Like, how do you value? How do you put a price on that? You know,
but you also got to think about too, like you just said, it cost. There's expenses that have to be made in order for that concert to happen. So that's why, you go see people that are $150 for a ticket. There's a shit. You got to think about it goes all the way back to people. I'll drop names like Miller Pro Audio. Yeah. Charging $25,000 to run a very small festival show that really only costs about $6,500.
Yeah. But you also got people that own these facilities that could put these shows on for free.
Totally. 100%.
Not charge a facility fee at all.
Right.
But they just want it just because, but they don't need it.
They need probably that parking money.
They probably never even see that money because they have so much money.
Yep.
So, get some of these guys to knock off facility fees and you probably...
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to come off of merch fees. I don't think they're going to come off of facility fees. And really, I think we have KISS to thank for the parking lot debacle, but...
Thanks,
What?
Paul and Gene.
Negative, Paul?
Where's the soundbite on that one?
Yeah. I don't know where the right answer is at because, like I said, the cost of production. So it's like, what are you getting? So you gotta bring value to the table. That being said, I've always felt like a lot of bands could do it for a lot less. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of over stuff in the production world, especially now, and maybe a little bit less now because there's a lot of younger guys coming up in the production world. But I know that when we were, kind of figuring out the Messer production, we were met with a lot of old dogs that were like, "Oh, if I don't have 4 of everything, and I got to run 2 snakes here, and what about your redundancy here? And if you don't have 5 computers,
drive me fucking nuts."
Excuse me, and the reality of it is that. Oh, this was great one.
Copper's gone up.
This was great. Yeah. What are you going to do when your computer goes down? I remember people were literally saying that to us because they had not seen a band use a computer before. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do if your amp blows a tube? You know what I mean? It's like, if shit's going to, what
are you going to do when you break a string?
What are you going to do? You're going to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So we have never had a redundant system. I never bought into the theory of redundant system. I built our system so that we wouldn't have those issues. And if we ever had a production issue, 9 times out of 10, it was power related on the venue side of things because we were drawing too much power for our light show.
Yeah.
More than anything. I've never had anything happen in a show that would have been unavoidable, in any other circumstance, it would have still happened. But also, it's a live show and shit happens. And you just, nowadays, it's okay to people to stop and start over again. I mean, I watched a show real recently where, in a small venue where there was no behind the scenes curtain, a band's whole entire playback system went down, and they were younger kids, right? So they're like, "Oh, hold on, we got to get this back up again because it's going to sound so much better with all this extra guitars and things that we have on this thing here." And they were just super transparent about that. They had, and not even trying to have a little bit of mystique about it, about what's going on behind the curtain.
And I think that's a thing these days.
It is a thing.
These kids don't care.
They don't care. They're so, and this is going back to the idea of live performances is that they're so used to hearing, perfect quantized drums and perfect, and it's just so like it's not even a thing to them. Where it's like it's only the older. Remember.
Milli Vanilli's rolling over right now. Going,
poor guys,
Christ.
give them their Grammys back. You know what I mean?
Man.
Well, one of them's
if Taylor can have one, I mean, But going back to like amps versus modelers, I remember the first, and I was an early Line 6 adopter.
Wasn't it the Line 6 mod?
The pod.
That's like a little egg-looking thing.
Amp farm.
The little kidney.
So many people had those.
I had one of the very first, Line 6 Vetas with the Variax guitars. I bought one
a set of my guitarists.
Yeah, I had one of the very, very first ones, and so I've always been in the forefront of that. And I bought into those guys that were building all of that technology were the guys that ultimately left Line 6 and went to Fractal, started Fractal Audio. So I had like one of the that's why I have all the Axe effects, because I've been literally with those guys since their transition. I'm only now, like, my mind has been blown by what neural DSP. That's a whole other topic we can go down.
Holy crap! And the stuff they released this past week, it was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, just to kind of jump around, but you remember how the pushback about people, with amps and cabs.
I was an amp guy. I mean, being a bass player.
Sure, I get it.
Still am.
But then I got my Anagram from Dark Glass.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've ever had in the world. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, my bass rig live has been forever. I'll give you the secret sauce. It's an Ampeg DI pedal and an Axe effects, and that's it. And I feed the dry signal into my Ampeg. I just use the clean channel of the Ampeg just to give it that Ampeg fatness and warmth, that low. What's that button? That low button that you push on the Ampeg that gives you the sub.
Yeah, the ultra low switch.
Ultra low switch.
Yeah, I have a V4B.
Ultra low.
And then I just feed that into my Fractal, and inside of the Fractal, I have like a Fender Bassman amp for the clean side, and then the dirty side is a Mesa Boogie. And that's all comes out.
And I guess that in itself would be how, if you were going to do shows in a smaller area, that's what it would be. I mean, it would be using things like you wouldn't actually be using amps and stuff on stage, which not that a lot of people do these days.
The reason for us, our philosophy on all of that was about like, where could we cut back on efficiency of show setup? Okay, because we learned early on, I remember showing up to a gig with my analog bass rig, which was an SVT head. I had a subharmonic synthesizer and a Voodoo Lab switching system and a high watt guitar amp, and I had a 3 output. I needed 3 DIs. I remember, and sound guys. I remember sound guys would be like, "I'm not giving you 3 DIs for bass." You know what I mean? But I needed all that, for what I was
just
doing.
Eat up the board.
Yeah. So, and I figured out how to fold all that stuff down, and we figured out how to get sneaky, and we figured out that the less stuff that we have to set up. And so by putting the whole band, which was very controversial at the time, because you're thinking about a band's like, well, yeah, I've got my bass sound and I've got my guitar sound and I need these amps and I only do this and I want to go. We had to have it all in one thing. So it required me to like, all right, I'm going to own the production. So I bought everything.
Yeah.
I sound designed everything.
Right.
And you plug into here and you do this, and that's the thing. So,
which I think is bitching that a lot of bands are doing that now. Our band does that. Like it's, when we show up to play somewhere now and we send them a left, right, front fill sub.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, you should have seen the looks that we would get when we would ask for left, right subs on an aux back in the early.
Oh, I'm sure.
2015, 2000.
Being self-contained, you're like, what do you mean I don't get to run your sound?
Yeah.
Like,
no, you get to have a night off. How are you on lights?
It's a chill.
Yeah, right. How are you? That's still a thing, though. I mean, we still run into that. Like, Leighton runs sound for us, or, Mike. Like, we run into that all the time. But just like we dealt with this thing up at Copper River this past weekend or 2 weekends ago, we did that thing up in Colorado, and they were, when we showed up, we know what kind of system they have in there and whatnot, but we'd already played there once, and Leighton was with us, and we saved that scene. And that's the other part we haven't even talked about is like being able to save the scene by the venue. Right. So when we showed back up, they were doing it festival style. We had a throw and go situation. Yeah. We didn't get a chance to sound check. So we threw and we went. And it only took him just a couple things and we were in. Yeah. But every other band that played, the kick drum sounded like it was in the back of the house. The snare was in the center. Yeah. The bass was really loud. The guitars were far off in the back. And it's just because they don't run with their own FOH. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that an FOH is just as important as having a member in the band.
Yeah, 100%. You know, when we started Messer with a sound engineer as a band member, essentially as part of it, because it's important. I think even now, you fast forward now, I would like, all right, we're starting a band. What do we need? Well, we need a bass player, we need a drummer, we need a guitar player, we need a singer, we need a front of house guy, and we need a content creator. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like an extra band member. You know, what do you play? I play the TikTok camera. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you need if you're putting a band together, because those are required elements. It's like, remember back when we were a kid and we just had a quarter for a payphone, and now it's like, well, we got to have internet, we got to have Bluetooth, and we got to have.
I will never forget when payphones went from 5 cents to 10 cents to 25 cents to 35 cents to 50 cents. Yeah. And I remember paying 50 cents to make a phone call going, what the fuck?
Whoa. Imagine paying $500 for a concert ticket.
Oh, and then remember back then, like you had like what was it? The phone cards you could buy.
That was a scam.
Yeah, calling cards.
Calling cards.
The codes. Yeah, put in the codes.
Crazy.
We're really sidebar.
Anyway, sorry to get sidetracked there. You just opened up a door to my brain was like, oh, 1992.
Memories. But you know, the whole idea was how sneaky could we be, and even with Kenny's drum kit, like when we designed that, you know, I mean, it's like if you're throwing and going like what you just said, or you know, God forbid you're a support band. You've got 25 minutes tops. You've got to get as much attention as you possibly can. If you sound shitty, no one's going to care. You know how many people said, I came to a show not expecting to fall in love with the opening band, but I did. And then oftentimes like, why do the opening band sound better than the headlining band? And, you know, that
hundreds of shows that's happened at.
Yep.
I've had that conversation happen. I'm sure, as you guys have probably had too. I've had that happen several times. But we've got so much into this. I'm not going to leave it up to some angry sound guy.
Correct. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that is a thing. Dear sound guys, please stop being angry with the artist.
Pretend like you want to be there.
Yeah. Like, stop pretending like you're turning somebody's mix up in their monitor. We know you're not.
That's
we like you guys.
Unless they don't get
we
paid.
like to have fun
and then
with you.
They release a video of Courtney Love's dry signal on YouTube. You guys remember that video?
Yes.
I do. Yeah. I kind of consider myself a liaison. I can speak the language.
Yeah.
I can walk amongst both the, you know, regular people and the techie world. Yep. And so I have learned how to communicate really well.
It's different though when you come across one of those sound guys where they're literally just sitting in front of the stage and you're ready to sound check and you're waiting for them to go like, let me get kick. You know, that's usually where you start. You can always tell what kind of FOH you're going to be running with when he's like, you guys just play, I'll mix it up.
Yeah, just go for it.
No. Kick. And I'll make them. I'll be like, start with kick. Yeah. Why do we need to start there? Because that's where you start.
No,
that's number one.
I mixed the first band. We're good.
Yeah.
I've got everything. Well, I'll just fix it as y'all.
You know, here's the thing too, though. It's like, you know, we built Kenny's riser and everything lived on it, and including the mics. And in most situations like that, the drummer might get 3 mics, 5 mics. How many mics are you going to maybe give the drummer? Not very many. 8 channels at best. But we have 13 microphones on his drum kit, you know, that we're mixing in there. So there's a lot of detailed information that the average band isn't giving, including sometimes even the headliners. They may or may not have that level of production just on their drums.
Yeah.
And when you're starting with that level of like foundation, and then you start stacking stereo guitars and actual, you know, imaging and, you know, again, also we're using our microphone, so we know the profile of them, but also we're running full triggers on kick and snare, so it's like very
Yeah.
specific.
The crazy
sounding.
thing too, man, is like guitar players, just people that are big carers about their tone.
I get it.
You set your tone, and then some jack off sound guy fucking fucks that all up for you. What you're doing on stage does not sound anything like what's being projected out front, and they don't realize that that's literally like walking up to your guitar amp and going,
Yeah,
shitting all over it.
for sure. Especially if you're, especially if you're building your sound design around
Right.
specific
Totally.
frequency ranges and things. That's why we always just go over and just turn their EQs off, and just like there's nothing worse than you have this great mix and then the house curve just like sucks
Yep.
it all out. So,
Yeah.
definitely.
But
been,
what do y'all think about
you
the
know.
theories of, my guy knows the house? My guy knows this building.
Oh, I've
Okay.
Messer was playing. Okay, we were talking about a show that you guys were doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. You're playing at the Daddy's place.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
I don't want to drop names here.
Sure.
But
I know
that
the
dude
guy.
was throwing a fit about y'all sound guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
listen, it's their sound guy.
Yeah.
He goes, I've been running this room for 20 years.
But I know the room.
It
I know the
doesn't
house.
matter
I know
what
what's
you've been
going
running
on.
this room for
Yeah.
20 years. You haven't been running that band for 20 years.
Yeah.
That dude's been around with them longer than you have,
Yeah.
and he knows their sound and what they expect.
Yeah.
And sound guys just don't get that.
Yeah.
Dude, for me, when I was working, some of the venues I've worked at, let's say Fairmount Music Hall or Tees, when I was running sound there, and a guy would come in with their own FOH, I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And I went over and played video games.
Yeah.
And if he needed something, I'd run and go grab it.
Yeah, I don't understand
Again, it's generational because I know
Yeah.
It is.
you're talking about, and it is generational, a lot of those guys on the road, those guys are gone for the most part. They didn't come back after the pandemic. Those
Correct.
guys got comfortable. They were already old and salty, and they stayed home. Definitely, there are a lot of new, younger, production. I mean, the iPad kids are in charge for sure
Yeah.
now.
well, and the cool thing about that is you can walk around and
It makes
fix stuff.
Could you
and it's
imagine? Like again, it's like the going on wedges and having to like try to give me a little more, give me a little. And the sound guy, is that good enough? I don't know. Is that good? Does that sound? Now it's like the sound guy can walk right in front of the wedge, stand right where you're standing,
On an iPad.
Yeah.
on an iPad, give you what you want. And what's beautiful about a lot of the modern stuff is the amount of processing that can now take place inside a wedge. And then, of course,
Yeah.
in your in-ears, you have unlimited amounts of processing.
Yep.
Like, if people could hear what's going on in my ears when I'm playing, you'd be like, oh, my God, it sounds so amazing. And, like, it's just incredible, like, experience because, I'm trying to hit a flow state. And a flow state can't really be hit in a wedge scenario. It's very hard
No.
to hit that flow state of like,
And you never know what kind of wedge you're going to be playing through. There's so many different ones out there. You go to all these different places. I could talk about one place that I was really disgusted with their wedge, but it's no longer around. But that was La Valentina.
oh yeah.
They had those Omega wedges out there, and Danny knows those
Yeah.
are shit.
They
I'm
also
not
had a
scared to say it.
decibel. They had a decibel issue over there.
They would
that-
get to this
Yeah,
point, this
they did have a
frequency, and they go,
decibel
Yeah.
you could hear it like a
Like a
horn,
fart,
like
a
a
horn
fart,
fart,
but a
yeah.
Yeah.
fart horn going off.
Oh,
you know,
that
the
sucks.
the place I saw the most fights with FOH guys was at
Lava?
the Big Gas Monkey.
Oh, same. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bands would come
KMFDM.
in.
Yeah.
KMFDM was one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
their own guys would come in, and the guys that worked there would be just like, "It's my room. I know this
Yeah.
place." Blah blah blah. And they're like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I know those engineers now, and like I said, I know, and some of those engineers, they are very good and they're very talented, but they definitely, were, going after a specific kind of sound in the room at those places. I think all was like SoundBridge audio systems that they had over there. I think, and
I think Leighton Autry still holds the record in town. Our sound guy, he owns Autry Audio. Plug.
"Cha-ching, you
yeah.
can be on my cup."
We played Main Street Days out at Grapevine, and Jeff Krebs and those guys had just gotten that RCF rig, like it was brand new, and they brought all of it out. Like it was all of it.
Everything.
I mean, oh my God, amount of sound for that concert. It was like 24 per side with double the subs going across the front. And they were like, we want to get all of our stuff to really stretch its legs. I'm like, Leighton's going to do that for you. This is when we were big casino. Yeah. And Brady had that big old DW kit, 22-inch kick drum up there. And he goes, and he's like, all right, go ahead. And you can hear him through the monitors. We weren't running ears at the time. Yeah. And you hear Leighton go like, okay, let's go ahead and go with kick. And then it's like, and he's like, I can hear it coming through the monitors. I'm like, yeah, it's there. But we're not feeling it. We're not hearing it out front yet. And all of a sudden he goes, all right, and here we go. It went, and that canopy that's out in front of that stage, the flap on it went like a wave, went whack. Like everything fell off, like all the tables fell off. And he goes, might have been a bit much.
That's great.
Yeah, but it was like, everybody, 2,000 people out there just went like that. It was like, holy shit.
Too much. I took too much.
Jeff Krebs comes running over. He's like, what are you doing? He goes, I just, we stretched the leg. We definitely stretched the leg. Like, we're there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now I want to do Old Man Yell at Cloud.
All right.
Because I want to go back and show you all this. This is what I was trying to bring up earlier from the NAMM show.
Okay.
This is this one Best of Show. This is by a band by a company called Polyend. It's called The Endless, and it is an AI pedal,
right?
Where you can tell it anything you want. You can either describe it to it or code it, and it will make it for you with the AI built into it.
No way.
Yeah. And they're going to have of course, like everybody else, they're going to have a bank where you can go get user presets and all that of different stuff as you want. But this is what we're starting to see in gear, in effects. And
it hurts my heart a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Because
it's
only
weird,
because I just have so much fond memories as a kid. First of all, buying and collecting pedals, and
I loved
like comic books,
and then I had so much time spent, turning the knobs and having that visceral, connection with
learning them.
And that's another thing too. It's like, God, there are so many producers who have only produced and recorded on a laptop in a digital, on a DAW nowadays, and never having done an analog or growing up like with a 4-track tape recorder or reel to reel or hi 8 or I've done all of it, all the way up to now, and I use a mix of outboard analog gear and digital gear, but I know what the gear does IRL, and so it's like I think it's okay to use it in its digital form. But the idea that you can just like tell a plugin, hey, do this and make it sound like this, or I guess a pedal, Again, now we're opening up creative minds and tapping into creativity. That
you also got to think too about like the pedal maker, right? Like Line 6, right? The DL4, the delay pedal, the big green block. You know,
classic.
Like there's only certain like sounds that come from that pedal that you're not going to get on any other pedal, or like when you go to Boss for delay pedals, like the DD3 was the shit.
Right.
Still holds true today. It is sought after, but they decided to go with the DD5.
Sure.
Are you going to Earthquaker or something that has all the crazy ass boutique pedals that make all sorts of crazy sounds?
Totally. Yes.
The time spent in the circuitry.
Strymon, dude, they're that's one of my favorites. Yeah, like I've got the whole block, the Mobius, the Big Sky.
I think pedals again now, and it's also kind of a specific type of player too. That is like, I'm going to be a pedal board player, or you're going to be a digital, rack mount type player. I would always argue that 5 or 10% degree of maybe analog is better over digital is not noticeable doesn't outweigh the juice ain't worth the squeeze for me to bring and jack with all the man, I can't tell you how many times I had a show where like, I got this buzz noise, and it's like, you guys got to start, and I'm trying to figure out where there's a ground loop somewhere that's creating fuck all that shit, right? There's something to be said for that.
Voodoo Lab and
Yeah, that's what I had to
taking
do.
away the ground, and I still get a buzz on that acoustic guitar. It's like, dude, I play an $8,000 Gibson SJ200.
Yeah,
and I'll still get a buzz.
Yeah,
like it will still be there.
Guitar.
And it's a beautiful guitar, but I'm running it through like the Neve DI.
Yeah,
and I got a Voodoo Lab,
super hot,
and I still get this, around like 60. I'll just get this hum.
Yeah,
and and we go into the rack on a digital console, we just take it out.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's not in the chain of my pedals.
Well, maybe if you had this AI filter, you could go in, or this pedal up here,
you could
and say,
tell it,
"Hey,
take it.
Hey, take
I
that
need-
60 out.
make me a 60. Yeah, cut it, just carve it out. Just give me it's very surgical. Slice.
I think it's rad because I'm a fan of all things pedal. I think it's rad. That's coming. Like that's going to be a thing. But also, it's like it's going to come down to those guys that are like taking the Kemper.
Yeah.
And they're saying, here's a Mesa Boogie. And then they're taking that actual Mesa Boogie and then putting them side by side and doing a sound test with 57s on them.
Yeah.
Well, let me turn you on to this. Maybe you haven't had a deep dive into neural DSP's processes of what makes them, I think, probably far superior when it comes to the modeling side in both the digital and the pedal. Because the pedal and the digital, it's the same. It's just it's hardware, right?
Yeah.
But I did not realize that they went out and invented their own machine learning devices, okay?
Yeah.
Physical robot servers that they connected all these little robot servers up to the physical amps. And then they would just have these amps sit there and run every single possible knob combination for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. So the point is that they're taking and getting actual real data from the physical amp as opposed to what everybody else is doing, which is profiling a frequency response from a speaker.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though like you can, Kemper, they were real big, and we're going to take your rig and we're going to, those are very few data points by comparison to what Neural's doing.
Or like UAD, same thing. Universal.
And so it's like, it's very hard now, and I just did this the other day. It's like I have my analog guitar chain that I use in my studio, my Friedman HB 100 custom Harry Brown Eye, my Mesa Boogie Mark V, and my Soldano SO1. That's my train. I have the analog amps rigged in. I've got rid of my ISO speaker cab years ago, and in lieu of 2 notes load boxes that I run them into, and then so I'm using speaker cab sims for tones. But I have found myself over the last 6 months and the last several projects that I've produced for Rock the Troops, really just sticking with the Neural DSP plugins for everything, because it's just, they're so darn good.
Yeah.
And when you stack them with good input, good guitar clean inputs going in, and good performances, and if you just, listen, I don't give me any amp, I will get a tone out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it's, the tone is in the capable hands of the guy twisting the knobs. You know what I'm saying? And for modern musicians, the tone is also in the hands and the fingers. So it's like, I don't really give a shit what amp you give me. I'm going to get the same sound probably because I know what I'm going for and I know how to twist the knobs to get it. So I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on the amps in the studio anymore. And thusly, I'm watching the bottom kind of fall out on the value of these amps, which used to be $4,000 or $5,000 amps, are now not.
They are plummeting.
They're plummeting.
I've noticed that. You go cruise
Not
to
Ampeg or
reverb and
Orange.
stuff.
They've actually went up in price.
Ampeg has probably. That makes
And
makes
Orange,
sense.
yeah.
I could see that. Although the days of me carrying and lugging around a 810 cab are far.
Mine are done too. I got my little dark
Mine's a
glass.
610.
My little dark glass 212 that weighs 30 pounds.
Yeah, I do
Love
like.
it.
There is I think it's called the Businessman. It's made by. It's like a 6 or an 8.6 or an 8.8. It's a little bitty thing.
Is it Phil Jones?
Phil Jones.
Yeah.
Is it called the Businessman? Am I calling that right? I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's what they're notorious for, is having like the 6.5 inch speakers.
Yeah, that thing I would lug that around, and I do want to get one of those cute little mini Ampeg. I kind of want that whole set for my living room. Really, the little mini Marshall.
Oh yeah,
little mini Ampeg.
Yeah, the micro stacks.
So
Yeah.
I really think I just want that for my living room. So I have my living room studio. I have my
they have the
my
seal
rolling
and the
drum
VR
kit set up, and I have everything set up. You know, plug right in. I have a JBL PA system, and so we can just have living room jams, right?
Yeah.
But it would be cool to have those little amps. It'd be fun.
Have you played around with the Spark?
I have not personally played around with the Spark, but I've seen those. Yeah,
I got one of the Spark 2s and love it.
Yeah.
That's perfectly what it's for, is a little living room jam.
Yeah.
Or like when we're playing shows, we'll do parking lot jams for warm
nice.
up. We'll use them for warm up amps.
I actually have one of those. I have the JBL. I think it's, what is it called? The Eon stick, the 6-channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I use that. I just have that in my living room, and we just mix everything into that. And I've got a real
Those
nice
sound
rolling
good.
electric drum kit in there, so like we can have a pretty good little living room jam in there.
There you go. Heck yeah.
I mean, there's effects on those things. You just get on the phone, dial it up, and it's a pretty impressive little system. But,
How long have you been doing the Rock the Troops thing?
oh gosh, in and out for around 10 years. You know what I mean? Obviously, when I was out with Messer, I missed a lot of opportunities. But as soon as anytime I had a chance to go out and perform, at that time, originally Operation Rock the Troops was focused on performing for the military. So we would go around and visit all the military bases, and that was like our primary focus. It's only recently
Was it considered
shifted.
a USO thing?
It was, but it wasn't called through USO. They had it called it through like a MR mental. They call it something different now, but yeah, essentially it's through USO. But it's great experience, great fun. Some of the biggest shows I ever played were with Rock the Troops, playing for veterans.
We gotta get Matthew in here, man. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, you totally should. He's going to be up here. We're meeting up in our headquarters, which is just upstairs here at the amazing Platinum Music Complex.
Now, your podcast is called The Edge.
Yeah, I do have a podcast. I tried. Let's talk about that. The Edge, yeah, where we talk about all things edgy.
So
old stories from 102.1 The Edge or whatever.
94.5.
94.5 going all the way back.
Wow.
The
You wanna
different
go-
color bumper stickers you could pick up everywhere that everybody had in their car.
Z-Rock.
you want to really go back? Let's go Y95.
Oh,
I remember
Y95,
Y95 or the Zoo.
The Zoo.
The Zoo.
Yeah.
No, Messer translates to the word knife, and I thought it was a good play. And I wanted to focus mainly on, anything cutting edge with technology, relating to music, production, but really just anything in general. So
Yeah.
fit. So went with it.
That's funny you say that, because Dustin's last name relates into Cutter.
Oh,
It actually does, yes.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
If a Messer,
You're telling me this whole time we could have been calling you DC.
Cutter.
Cutter. Yeah, I know.
Just-
DC.
Yeah.
Dustin Cutter. God,
It's weird, huh?
that's a creepy name.
That isn't. That is a very,
My name's Dustin Cutter, boy.
that's a
Get over
very
here.
creepy name.
Let me
Yes.
talk to you.
but
How-
we're kind of putting Messer on a little bit of a hiatus at this point. It's just
gonna
kind
ask.
of run its course to some degree. Really, it's just not, the music business, the tour. I mean, it's all the things, the ticket prices. Although I wish I was on tour right now paying $3 for a gallon for diesel. I would love to pay $3 a gallon for diesel.
Dude, I thought about you the other day because
Yeah.
I saw it 7-Eleven up on Newark Road, 287. I had to stop in there, and it was $2.65.
Oh yeah, I've seen
was like,
diesel really $2.89 at a Buc-ee's. I mean, I would love to be out, but I think the last time that Messer was out on tour, diesel was like $4.50, $5.50. I was paying rent every time I was stopping at the pump.
It's ridiculous.
And it is
Yeah.
ridiculous. And
I used to have a Jetta TDI.
still-
It was diesel. I know the feeling.
yeah.
Do you still have your bus?
I do still have the bus. Yeah.
The last time we talked, you might be selling your bus.
Yeah, I mean it's always for sale.
Okay.
I think anybody who has a bus or a plane or a boat's always got it for sale. But right now it's currently getting painted. One of the last rentals, I've been renting it out here and there, and they had some boo-boos on it in Nashville, and I'm getting those boo-boos fixed up, and it's turning into an ordeal because weather and everything else, and so it's. But
we used it once. We enjoyed it. I slept like a baby on there.
It's great. No, I put new countertops in it since you guys have been on it. We've upgraded. I remodeled the whole bathroom on it, and
did you get the sound fixed on the TVs?
The sound's not fixed on the TVs per se. I just need to put some sound bars in there. I just haven't done that yet.
We didn't know.
We don't use them.
We didn't think about that.
TVs plural.
Yeah, we turned on the TV as we were going on this trip, and I was like, I think it was Corey goes, "Hey, I can't hear anything." I was like, "We just have to imagine you know what's going on, but the picture looks cool." So we're gonna
Can we turn on captions? Damn it!
Yeah,
we never used the TVs. To be honest with you, so it was just never. Everybody's just on their phones and their bunks, and it wasn't like a thing. So I never really messed with it, but it does suck that the way they put those TVs in there, that's like the covered right up where the speaker is, and so that does suck. But we're gonna work on that.
Have you ever owned a boat?
I've never owned a boat.
Okay, because I was just wondering where this would rank, owning a bus compared to a
it
boat.
Ranks to owning an airplane.
Yeah,
it's like or a yacht, a small like 60-foot yacht ish or something.
So headache or no headache? That's what I was kind of getting at, because owning a boat is a complete headache.
I mean, it's 1,000% a headache, but you know, it's like. So is owning a Ferrari, you know what I mean? But if you love it, you fucking love it.
That's true. I don't know.
Some people dream about like Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I've always wanted to own a Prevost, and so it's just like
they're freaking awesome.
It's about $30,000 a year to own it, just to own it.
Yep.
And then if you want to drive it, that's more.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's about right. Yeah.
I grew up motorhome life.
Yeah.
So with my grandparents were big motorhome people.
Yeah.
So
you got to use those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to use them.
And unfortunately,
if they sit too long.
Yeah, that's when
you get problems.
That's when you get problems. And the thing is about people are right. It's like these things are meant to be, moving. Especially Prevosts are meant to be moving. And when they're sitting, that's when problems occur. Unfortunately, you don't find out about those problems till you're on the road. So it's like shit only breaks when you're going down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's always a thing. And knock on wood. I mean, we've never missed a show because we broke down. That's never been a thing, And we've even blown an engine in the middle.
All right, let's talk about your craziest bus story.
Well, craziest bus story is probably not on the bus. It's probably craziest tour story, I guess, would be like in the Sprinter van, because we started out. We never skipped any steps. We started out in the shittiest of shittiest vans, and also, mind you, Messer started out as a touring band. We started out like, we're gonna get this thing. We're gonna go. We played here, but we also were going Abilene. We're going to Houston. We're going anywhere we could. And originally it was Kenny had a van that he was installing like Dish Direct TV, satellite TV stuff in. It had ladder racks on it. It was like just no windows. And we did a couple little runs to LA and back. And funny story, we went to NAMM one year and we drove that van all the way there. And we got VIP parking 2 days in a row because we pulled up in there. And Jackass was like really big, and Derek looks like Johnny Knoxville.
He does, and
he had these like crazy red frame sunglasses on. We literally pulled up in there, and Derek sticks his head. We have this on a video, like on a camcorder video. That's how long ago. He sticks his head and he goes, "Hey, I'm Johnny Knoxville. I'm here for this NAMM thing. Where do I park?" And they go, "Oh, right this way, Mr. Knoxville." And they VIP.
Amazing.
Yes. And of course, we were in this shitty van, and so it looked like authentic as fuck. Because like, oh, just as these jackass guys are about to show up and do some jackassery. And so 2 days, and finally the third day of trying to go back and park the third day, they caught on to us like, hey, what are you guys doing here 3 days in a row? But that's a true story though.
That's awesome.
That van sucked terribly. But then I bought us a less shitty van. I went and got us a conversion van with the little high top thingy and the plush seats and like a 96 something or another. You know, it had that nice smell with the carpet in it. That was cool. We drove that thing around quite a bit. She broke down in that thing. Tires, you know, gas, running out of gas was always a thing in that thing. But then we built a Sprinter van. I had bought a old Red Bull Sprinter van.
I was about to say, this is a Red Bull Sprinter van.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was, you know, the thing was a piece of shit when I bought it. But anyway.
Did you buy it straight from them or from an auction?
I bought it from an auction.
Now, was this back when they were the Sprinter? Was this I mean, obviously it's the Mercedes.
Yeah.
The first gen.
It was the first generation. Not the one where they were considered, no. It might have been considered a Dodge, and I think I re-emblemed it with the Mercedes emblems because it was.
What size motors are those running?
Oh, it was like a 3-cylinder.
That's what I thought. They're all like 3.2s, 3.4s.
Oh, it was
3-cylinder.
Yeah, it was. It was small. I don't think it was 3-cylinder.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
They're all the same now.
Crap.
They run with twin turbos on them, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It was not made for what we put it through, but we spent all this money getting it finished out. We put 6 bunks in there, and air conditioning, the whole thing. We got a YouTube video of doing this that I did way back in the day. And the first tour that we took it out on, we drove. A major tour was we were doing a Canadian run with Black Label Society and Protest the Hero. And the first show was St. John's, Newfoundland. Okay, I don't know if you know your geography.
That's way the hell over there.
Not only is it
out there,
way the hell over there, it's way the hell up there, over there, across the water, around and back. And so we made it up there.
Did
y'all ferry?
We had to ferry.
Did they screech you in while you were out there?
Yeah. Oh God, it was everything. But then the second show was Nova Scotia, so we played that one, and then the third show was going to be in Montreal, and we had a day off.
Place to start.
Yeah. Well, it was the furthest. We were going from St. John's to Vancouver, so it was, and everywhere in between. Now Canada there's like 8 places you can play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You got to drive the Shield if you're going that route.
Now Kenny, our drummer, grew up in Canada, so he grew up making this trek. No big deal.
Total used to it.
Yeah, he's got stories of having to keep heaters in the trailer because the gear would freeze, and and Thunder Bay and all kinds of crazy stuff. But somewhere in the middle of Nova Scotia to Montreal, the engine blew up on us in the middle of a town that was really, we weren't even close to them. We were in Quebec, which
time of year.
What time of year was it? October-ish. So
starting to get cold.
Definitely.
Oh, it's cold.
There's snow in the ground.
There
was definitely in fact, we didn't make it to Thunder Bay. That one show, the whole show got snowed out. There was like a big snow thing, and so nobody made it to Thunder Bay. But Thunder Bay or no, I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it's Saskatchewan. I can't remember. It's one of those shows we missed.
Saskatoons.
It's one of those Saskatoons. But anyway, we blew the motor, and we were 2 hours from anywhere. But there was this tiny little Chrysler Dodge dealership in a town called Montague or Montmagny. I can't even say it, in Quebec. And this we found one tow truck guy could come pick us up, but he couldn't get us and the trailer. So he picked us up. He got us to the dealership. It was like 4:00, and this dealership was tiny. It was like a tiny little metal building, and like gravel, and like 3 Dodge cars, and that was like the dealership. And all these guys only speak French. Yeah. And thankfully, Kenny, being Canadian, spoke enough French that we could communicate with them. And they basically agreed, we're going to, motor shot, blah, blah, blah. We had to sleep in the Sprinter van in the middle of the night because it was like 5:00 in the afternoon. And we're in Canada, and we got to get an engine, right? So it was also around the time that I think it was Hurricane Rita maybe was going to be hitting the East Coast, like the Northeast Coast, Hurricane Rita. I'd managed to find a rebuilt Sprinter engine in Houston, Texas, of all places. And I got it shipped from Houston up to Canada.
How long did that take?
Wow.
3 days. 3 days for that shipping to take place. And that's crossing the border. That's through the hurricane and everything. It took them 3 days. Might have been 4 days for that to get there. But we couldn't wait. Kenny had a friend, a buddy of his. This guy's like a Playboy millionaire guy who just shows up with his brand new RV at like 5 a.m. and picks us up. He drove from Toronto to where we were, picked us up, and then took us around on the whole rest of that tour in his RV while the engine was being replaced. And then
Nice.
At the end of that tour, we had to drive back to pick up the Sprinter van and then drive the Sprinter van with a brand new engine, 70 plus hours, straight deadhead back to Texas.
It's not fun.
Not fun.
No.
Not knowing if you're going to,
Yeah.
who knows?
Blow up
Yeah.
Who
again.
knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
So that's fun, but there was like a very dark night, cold night sleeping in the van in complete darkness with no heat or no nothing. It felt like, oh, this is like a life raft that we're in, and we're in the middle of a vast ocean, and it was like, oh, this, it was miserable. But we had our blown engine badge at that point, so
You
I
got
was
to
proud
get one.
about that. You got to get the badge.
Yep. Got to get the badge.
First time we blew a motor, we blew the motor and the transmission. It was on a GMC Regency 1500.
You got a double badge.
a double in the same day, and blown tires. So I had just gotten this
and tires?
and so
What are y'all doing?
it takes what to get to Abilene from Fort Worth?
It's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
It took us 9.
Holy cow! You could have walked.
Could have walked.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I had just gotten this new trailer, and it was a big son of a bitch. It was an 8x14 dual axle. And the van I had at the time, I was in the process of, like, at that point, switching to buying a bigger vehicle, getting like a 3500. Well, I'm in this 1500, and we got this last minute show to go out to Abilene and do it. So
That
I'm
big
like,
hill?
well, we just won't load as much gear. Like, instead of me at the time with Big Casino, I was using like 2 Marshalls with a Mesa head, a Marshall head, and the bass player had like a big, Gallon Kruger rig and all this shit. And I was like, let's just knock it down to your 410.
Bring your fly
I'll knock
rig.
it down to my 212. We'll knock it down to that. Drums, we're not having to take PA. We'll leave that behind, And I was like, we'll be fine. Man, no, we didn't even make it to Ranger Hill.
Oh, really?
We got to early, like right before Ranger Hill, and the back right tire blew. Pulled over,
Oh, no.
changed the tire, made it like literally 2 miles down the road, and the back left tire blew. Had to call on side road. They bring me a tire. They put it on. We blow the front right tire. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And so call the guy back. Hey, can you just go get 4 new tires? Wow. So he goes and gets 4 new tires, put all new tires on it. Got to Ranger Hill, we're going up the hill, and we blow the transmission. Ugh. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. As the transmission is sitting there going, whirr, like that, and we're trying to capture, we're right at the peak. The engine goes, and we blew the motor. And I was like, we have managed to blow all 4 tires, almost 3 tires out of 4, blow the transmission and the motor on this thing because we were towing this trailer. And there was 6 of us inside the van. And that was the end of the brown turd. Like that was, I put it on a trailer and sent it back to Fort Worth.
I'll tell you, we did probably 100,000 miles or so in Betty White, which was an RV, essentially, a motorhome that we converted, right? It was a pusher, diesel pusher, but it was the Caterpillar 3226B engine that they had. Kind of a small little Caterpillar engine. 100% dependent on the turbo. I did not know, just inexperience and just lack of knowledge that, that the turbo ever had an issue in it until it had a final issue. But come to find out, our turbo had never worked properly the whole time. I just thought these things are slow and they're dangerous. But we started having, when we were doing all these West Coast runs, we couldn't make it up any mountain pass or hill without overheating. And so for a number of shows, I mean, I'm talking months, maybe half a year, the protocol was, okay, here comes a big hill. Let's try to get as much speed as possible so we can make it up as far as we can. And the way this motor worked is the fan worked off the engine, so it was direct. So it was counter. When you're overheating, you think, I got to lay off the motor. No, you actually got to lay on the motor and get the RPMs up to get the engine fan spinning and do this whole thing. And so inevitably, the alarm would go off. I still have PTSD to this day when I hear that buzzer. If I hear like it was like I'll probably have like a panic attack if I heard it right now, because it was like we're watching the gauge. Like, when's it going to go off? And then as soon as it goes off, like, we got to pull over real quick, sit on the side of the road, rev the engine up to 2,500 RPMs to get the thing going. So get it down and then try to finish up the hill and get it further. Now, I don't know if you've ever been out to, you ever driven to Salt Lake, to Utah?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're coming down 80, Wyoming, you got that it's like this last giant hill that you got to go up before you start getting into Utah, and there's a Flying J at the top of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like going through Raton Pass.
Yeah, kind of. I always avoid Raton, and we've broken down on Raton, I mean, several times, but coming down some of those things.
Oh, it's scary as shit.
What's the
it's a bad sign when you see runaway truck ramps.
Yeah.
What's
the one?
That's the thing you don't see in Raton.
No, that one doesn't have any.
It scares the shit out of me.
Any of those, yeah.
Big Bear coming down. Big Bear from Big Bear Lake up in California, coming down into LA from Big Bear one time. I thought for sure Betty White's brake. I thought, this is it. Brakes are going to be gone. They're going to catch fire because. Not only when your turbo is not working, do you not get to go uphill very good, but you also don't have your engine braking power from your retard system coming down the hill. So, long story short, turbo finally went out on us. I get a new turbo in, and holy hell, this thing's like a race car. I'm like, let me go back and redo all of these all over again. So when I bought the Prevost, the first thing I ever did on the Prevost was we drove it to Sturgis. That was the first thing. Before I really did a bunch of stuff too. We went all the way to Sturgis, and I was like, kind of somewhat nervous about. I didn't have overheating problems, but I had like accelerating problems where I was like, well, maybe these things are just slow and lumbery. But I had the knowledge of experience of the turbo issues on the thing side. So there's got to be something wrong with this turbo. Put a new turbo in, and then God damn, you say that thing's 85 miles an hour, but stopping it, that is the hard part. But, there's that. I don't know if you ever done much on the east or the west coast up north, like going up to Oregon and Washington and Port. There's like it's called Devil's Pass or and it's like switchbacky as hell coming down, and it's just like tight butthole the whole way.
We will be this year. But we definitely will be this year.
I will tell you, the Prevost is a game changer when it comes to the hills compared to the motorhome.
Yeah, I think I even called you because back in June we went to Colorado to go play, and we took the Panther.
Yeah.
We took it up there, and going up Raton Pass.
Yeah,
I mean, by the time we didn't even make it to the peak, I mean, I was foot to the floor, just going. And like I could have got out and walked faster. So after that trip, I was like, no more. Because we've got. Not that the van couldn't. It's a 350 Super Duty.
Sure.
It's got a chip on it and everything. I thought it wouldn't have a problem pulling this trailer. But the trailer's awfully huge now and loaded down, 5-piece band now, whereas we were 4 when we were with the bus.
Right.
So getting out, I had to make a decision. Like, what am I going to get now? And like, looking into the diesel vans, looking into the Sprinters, looking into the Transits, and the Transits and the Sprinters, both of them, you're just finding out that they're just not built to tow. No. They're not built. They're built to be
in town at best.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not, and like I see bands all the time with these sprinters tricked out, the whole night. It's
Overlanders too.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Winnebago, doing them.
They're not
and I'm
made-
just like, but they're
not
all
made.
still 3.2, 3.4s with turbos. And I'm going, that's still, it doesn't, all these goodies don't make shit if your motor and transmission aren't big enough to do the haul. And so I went and bought that Duramax 6.6, the LP5 or the L5P, but I was gonna tell you, man, I got really into the Gale Banks.
Banks are great.
So the whole truck is completely
get the exhaust kit and everything.
the whole. I did the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
What I found out though, and we found this out afterwards because I put the pedal monster on there, which is insane. The pedal monster is insane. Absolutely nuts. You have regular stock, then you have what is it? You have sport, and then you have track, and then you can set the power levels right as you're doing it. And I was like,
how much is one still?
are you talking about for a?
They make them for 4Runners.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can totally put all it is it's talking to the computer,
telling the computer.
in between your pedal. Because we're all drive-by-wire now.
Right.
So it's talking to that computer in between. And instead of having that sponge there's no sponge. Just you tap it, you're gone.
Yeah.
And so here's what we found out. When you delete the def off your vehicle, which we deleted the def off that truck.
Oh, right.
Which is, it's illegal.
Hopefully, we're going to change that soon, and everybody should be
I
able to
think we're
do
getting
that.
close, really close. I know that some states are now
we
finally getting
gotta
to the
get
point where
rid
like,
of that.
I don't give a fuck about your def. We know that shit's bullshit.
Yeah.
But we deleted the def off the truck. What we found out is Banks hasn't made a Derringer for that yet.
Right.
And so because the def's gone and we had to reprogram the computer, that power bank is gone. So it's just set at a 6 right now. So there is no sponge.
Wow.
It is 6 and go. And the other day there was a BMW. I think I told you this. We were on Davis Boulevard. We were going to see a movie. This BMW pulled up next to me. It was like all rice rocketed out and shit. And I rolled down my window. I was like, "You want to run one to the it's like a quarter mile or so up to the road." I was like, "You want to run one?" He's like, "I'll blow the doors off that truck." I was like, "Sure you will." And he got me off the line. But as soon as I hit 20 miles an hour, I was gone.
As soon as the
I
turbo built up
blew
some
right
boost.
past him, just gone. He pulls up next to me, and goes, "Holy shit! What the fuck's in that truck?" I was like, "It's not legal."
Yeah. I will say I am grateful that the Detroit. Mine's pre.
Well, that was my
pre-def.
question. Is I wonder if you can put the bank stuff on the Prevos on those.
I'm sure Banks probably makes something for them, but they make all kinds of stuff to tune and dial up those things. The problem isn't the tuning them up because mine's tuned up pretty good, but it's stopping them is the problem. You're still a 50,000 pound plus sled.
Let me get into that. So we'll use, since we're talking about Raton, we'll use that as an example. Coming down, there is no runaways. I did notice a significant difference on my air brakes coming down. Now, not engaging them and turning them on, just the natural.
What is your transmission? Is it the Allison?
It's the Allison.
Is it six speed?
It's the 6.6 Duramax.
There's no engine brake on there though.
There is an engine brake on there.
So
you can engage it, but what I was saying is I didn't have to engage it. It was getting plenty, and it reads the bank system is reading that, oh, you're going downhill.
Yeah.
So I was keeping it between 50 and 60, and it's just But if I turned at one point, because it was a little slick this last time we went.
Sure.
And let me tell you, I didn't even feel the fucking mountain.
Yeah.
Like I had it on cruise control at 60 going up, and it was nothing. I didn't even feel it.
Essentially what I have always avoided Raton in Betty White, for obvious reasons.
For sure.
But when I was out, I had the low down drifters and those guys out. We had to come back from Steamboat and Colorado, and it was snow was already down, so snow plows were out and everything. And luckily, I'd gotten behind a plow, so the roads were pretty clear. Yeah. But the great thing about that Prevost is you can really just kind of hit the cruise control going up that hill. I've never gone up a mountain 60, 70 miles an hour. steadily go up mountains at 60, 70 miles an hour now.
Raton, I mean, it's kind of just it's windy, but not very windy.
There's way worse passes to come down in America. Raton is a little sketchy, but
there's other ones that are just like, whoa.
I just downshift and let the retarder do the thing, and just take my foot off the thing, and just occasionally you might have to you feather on those air brake systems. You know what I mean? You can't ride the brake pedal down there.
Dude, I got a great story about you.
Okay,
this is awesome. I don't even know if you remember this or not, but you scared the shit out of me.
Okay,
right? Like I'm not used to being on a bus. I'm used to being the guy driving.
Sure.
Right. So for the band, they're all passed out in the back, and I'm driving the bus. Right. So I'm normally used to driving the van or the vehicle that's getting us there. So we play down at the Armadillo Palace down in Houston, which was a dead shit. There was nobody there. There was what, 5 people maybe.
Yeah,
they didn't promote. They didn't say anything about the gang. It was literally just paid us to come down and play. We had to be in Lubbock at a rodeo the next day, which is about a 10-hour drive.
That's a haul.
And just horrible.
Yeah.
And it was raining.
No easy way there either.
So,
it's all back roads.
It's all back roads.
Yeah,
this is what I'm getting at.
Oklahoma City.
So I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm feeling the bunk just doing this number, and I am fucking rocking, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I pull my curtain back. I'm like, everyone's awake. Everyone's like, I think our driver died. And I'm like, I don't know, man, but he sure feels like he's hauling ass. And I go up there and I'm like wobbling, trying to get to the front door. I'm like, Jesus, please don't be dead up here. Like, and I open the curtain, and you're chiefed, like big time. Like it was like Cypress Hill. It was like opening up a curtain to a Cypress Hill concert. It was like
rolling out.
Whoa! And I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, he turns and just looks at me. His eyes are just this big, and he's just like, "Nothing, man, just driving." And and I look down, and he's like 70 miles an hour. We're on back road 2-laners, just weaving this Prevost in the dark, just flying through the night. And he's just got one big sausage hanging out of his mouth after another. And I sit there and talk with him for a minute. I'm like, Maddox, you got to slow the fuck down. You're scaring the shit out of me. Nah, man, we're good. We're totally good. Like, he was just not a care in the world. We're not driving a, 100,000-pound vehicle down the road with all this weight. Sure, this is a go-kart. We're good. And I mean, scared the fuck out of me to a point where I went back to my seat or to my bed, to my bunk, and I crawled in my bunk. And Corey goes, "Everything okay?" I was like, "Don't go up there. Do not go up there."
The better question is, does he remember this?
Probably not.
I mean, do you remember any of this?
Vaguely, but
Okay.
I remember that drive.
Point in case.
It was a long. I was just trying to make it to Abilene or something.
We pulled over to Flying J.
Yeah.
I remember waking up going, "We're not moving."
Am I dead?
Jesus Christ! I'm like, oh no.
That thing is a ghost in the night, though. It sails at nighttime, is where it's like you get to that hour, 3, 4 in the morning, and that bus just runs. You know what I mean? It's the best.
Yeah.
It just goes.
I
think that's a selling point of them.
I get out of the bunk and I go. I realize that we're in a Flying J parking lot. And I step outside, smoke a cigarette. I'm like, oh God, Jesus Christ, we made it. Okay, and then you came out, doobie in hand, just like, morning. I'm gonna take a shower here. We can shower later. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I was like, oh, okay, cool, right on. And then we got to the gig. We did the gig, but then on the way home, it was the same shit again. But we were coming down. I think we came in. Somehow we came in on some back roads.
114 or something. That was a weird way.
We came down this weird way. I remember Craig and you were sitting up front, and Craig's sitting up there talking with you, and I'm just in the back on my iPad, just like, oh God, Jesus Christ, just get us home. Just because I think it's the PTSD of just not being the driver.
Yeah,
that's my problem. Is my control issues take over. I've never been on tour and been on the back of any of my buses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Point in case is that I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
And So like my band always says shit like, dude, one of us can drive for you. I'm like, when's the last time you drove a truck towing a 16-foot trailer, 9,000 pounds, or even therefore parked one?
Yeah.
Like
my philosophy on all of that is it's almost better to have one highly skilled guy than 5 kind of skilled guys. And I will tell you, so now you want to talk tour stories. So in the early days when we were just driving the vans, we did the everybody drive thing because we thought that's what you do when you're in it. Oh, we all share drive. You do 4 hours. So there was a time where this was in the Sprinter van, and we pulled over. We were probably going to Colorado, I believe, or somewhere up north, and we were taking the back way we had gotten. I never liked to go the Raton Passway, so I always went like the back road
287
to 40. So we're doing that route. So we're like on one of those like small town stops off 287 somewhere, and we had to stop and get diesel. And it's like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm cooked. I'm gonna go to the back of the van and get in my bunk and sleep, and somebody else is gonna drive. Well, Kenny's like, I'll drive. So he comes out of his bunk, gets up in there, and he starts driving. And then a couple hours go by, and I wake up, and I go to the front, and I'm looking, and I'm like, the sun should be coming up. And I realize the sun's behind us. And I'm going, Kenny, where are you at? So, we're about a couple hours down this way. He took a left on 40, and we needed to go to the right or whatever, off 287, whatever. Which we were 4 hours the opposite direction.
Oops.
That we were supposed to be at. So we had to turn around and double time, catch it all up. But so that started a new rule. So that rule was the driver retires, the co-pilot, because we always had a driver co-pilot. Co-pilot's the next driver.
Yeah.
Because he knows where we are.
Right.
So no matter what. And then at some point, that just turned into I'm just going to do all the fucking driving, because I think I would try to be in my bunk, and then inevitably like 2 or 3, you'd get up, go all over the road, you go up the front, and Javier is on his phone with his reading glasses, trying to look at his phone while he's driving, and just texting, and it's like 4 in the morning, and there's deer everywhere.
I believe this totally, because like one of his rituals, like when he got up that next morning, we were about to go up to Lubbock, like, all right, we're only a couple hours out, blah, blah. He got up and had a latte maker and made this whole fucking concoction of an iced coffee, and had it going, and had like 40 different kinds of things of rituals that he had to get done before he sat down in that driver's seat. And by the time he got in that driver's seat, you would have thought he just fucking went through an 8-ball of Coke and was just ready to fly. And he was just like, all right, man, here we go. And we were gone, and I was just like, man, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I'm used to, like, what's his name? Fucking, I can't remember his name. Another bus company here, Road Coach, J-Boy Adams.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to his, J-Boy. His drivers are, not that you're not responsible. Yeah. They're just, these are older cats that are just like, this is all they do.
Yeah.
This is it. And you don't get much out of them.
Yeah.
You don't get much of a conversation with these dudes.
Right.
You just go, hey, man, how you doing? Good.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of my cockpit.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. So just checking on you. You need anything? No. All right. Fine. Complete opposite. Complete opposite.
It's a fucking party.
He's like, no, man, sit down. Let's talk about it. Fucking Atmos. Here we go.
That's it.
Let's go.
I faded out of the conversation. I didn't slowly walk out. I kept inching closer to the edge of the seat, back through the curtain. He realized I wasn't in the room anymore and stopped talking.
Homer Simpson?
Yeah.
Simpson?
Yeah.
The bushes.
Totally.
Backstepping in the bushes. Yep.
He goes, hey man, I hope I didn't talk your ear off. I was like, no man, you're in it, man. We're here. Thank God.
Well, I do have a routine down, and I have figured out now. Eventually, I did get for Messer a joint rolling tech. I brought my good buddy Darren to make
now
sure.
That's genius.
Well,
yes,
I like that.
I can't drive and roll joints at the same time. So.
Well, yeah.
I want this job. That's all my job is to do is roll joints.
Well,
all
I will
I'm
tell you
do.
that it's 2 joints an hour, Okay. And when we were like, how far is it to the next? It's about 6 joints. That's like how many joints is it? How long does it take to get from here to Nashville?
Yeah. 10.
It's like 5 joints.
Yeah,
6
okay,
joints.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's maybe 1 every 2 hours. Maybe it's 10 joints. I don't know.
It was the cup that did me in.
Yeah,
When I
sure.
saw the 2 cup, what I like to call what I have repeatedly called
in my car.
the Maddox 2 cup situation.
Well, it's actually
we have
more than
named
that.
this after you.
Maddox Mochaccino. Well,
No.
One
So
Maddox,
I'm
2
talking about-
cups.
I'm talking about the one that was on your right hand.
Oh, yeah.
And the ashtray that was on your left hand.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because my ashtray is in the cup holder as well. It's you got and it's like a 32 ounce big gulp type ashtray.
Correct. And in his right hand is just a bunch of pre-rolls that are
is
ready
it.
to rock and roll. And I'm like,
Yeah, I have to get up, do the math. How many hours is the drive? Roll the appropriate amount of joints, and then I'm very particular about my espresso machine, my Maddox Mochachinos that I have, and I've invested heavily in this espresso machine that I take with me when I'm on tour. I move it in, and in my new configuration of my counter, I've installed a new wet bar sink right next to it, so now I can make my coffee and rinse my cup out and not have to use the bathroom sink any longer.
This is amazing.
I do want
This is
the
amazing.
viewers and the listeners to know that he did all of this flawlessly. there was nothing wrong with it. For those out there, how dare you fucking do that while you're driving? Fuck off.
Well,
the guy did it. He's a pro.
I'm a pro. For
Killed
sure.
it. But I will say this: I thought I had seen Maddox High before until he played a show out in Mansfield. Our guy in here, back when he was smoking weed years and years ago, and I'll have to bleep this out in the audio because I know what. He's like, God damn it, don't talk about this. Someone from my job's going to be watching. I'll have to bleep this whole thing out.
This was way before the job. Years
ago. Yeah.
Way ago. Last week.
He managed to get Maddox ripped right before Maddox had to go on stage with Messer. And Maddox stops in mid-conversation. He goes, dude, listen, I gotta go on stage. I'm really fucking high right now. And I had to sit there and watch him take the stage, and I'm like, oh no.
It took me a minute.
I'm just watching him try to find what he's supposed to be doing, even though he's been in this position 1,000 times. He had to figure it out. And I was like, how high did you get him, dude? He's like, dude, he just sat there and kept going. I was like, it took too much.
I was going to say, what'd you do? Good Lord.
My God.
I listen, I'm on a maintenance program all day long, and likely I was probably preloading for the show, and then he came along, and I was already preloaded, and then we preloaded even more.
Oh, God.
The real story behind that show, the secret behind that whole show is that I made the mistake of eating an all-subs burrito earlier in that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh,
We all know where that's going.
So don't ever do that. I don't eat those things no more.
You got chungud, bro.
Yeah.
Chimichungud, that is.
Yeah.
Was that with extra taco sauce?
No, I didn't even do the taco sauce, but it definitely rearranged my butthole.
That's just
Sure.
dry humping a chimichanga, bro. You can't.
Yeah, raw dog and a chimney with no lube.
Ooh.
Gee, I don't know how people eat those damn things, but I literally had picked the bus up and filled up at an all-subs, and I said, it's burrito's not going to hurt me.
Hey, mark that down, man. That's a sound bite. We're killing that one. We're definitely going to use that sound bite. Raw dog. What'd you say? Raw dog.
Raw dog and a chimney with no sauce.
No lube.
No lube.
Raw dog and a chimney with no lube.
1 hour 50.
1 hour 50. All right. Got it.
All right. Well, for sure. And so I was dealing with that. It took me.
You can't switch to ball serious now.
It took me 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks to recover from that damn thing. Man.
I don't understand. I know people that go on road trips all the time. I'm like, how the hell do you do this?
My sound guy, Nick, he would live off of that Flying J pizza.
Oh, yeah.
On the whole entire tour.
He's young, though.
And I'm like, how are you not there are times where I have seen that guy get off of the bunk, out of his bunk at maybe I'll be parking the bus at 5 or 6 in the morning. He'll have already been passed out, and get out and then hot foot across it. When you're in a truck stop sometimes, and when you pull in and the bus gets parked, you cut out. You don't know which way's up or down because where's the bathroom at?
Right.
I've seen Nick run around I mean,
where's the shitter? Where's the shitter? Where's the shitter?
Not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. That's probably the worst, man.
I know Craig's there laughing his ass off. I could see his shoulders shrugging from here.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we know what that's like.
Yeah, it's horrible. No pooping on the bus.
Have you ever had any just crazy weird comment like on the road? And this goes for all of us, but like being out on the road, going on tour, come across just some weird shit going down, and you're just like, we need to get the fuck out of here right now.
Well, I've definitely seen some like crazy like lights and things in the skies.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
late night. You
For
see
sure.
you see a lot of cool like shooting stars and things like that in the sky when you're hitting that witching hour. Probably the craziest experience, man, is we played this theater downtown LA right off of Skid Row, and they was with Scott, and they only had bus parking for like his bus, and so like you guys could park over on Skid Row, so we literally had to park like right off of Skid Row, and that's probably the only time I think I ever always had a gun on the bus. That's the only time I ever had like ready the guns to get out of there.
Safety off, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy. Oh no, I take that back. Portland, Minnesota. Actually, I don't want to get political, but we were in Minnesota not too long ago, and same thing there. Like we had to like have someone stay by the bus armed the whole time because people were just trying to just like break in. I mean, it was horrible, and shit was everywhere. I will tell you.
In Minnesota?
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah. I have videos of it. It's like we're loading in and we're like stepping over piles of just human shit, just on the sidewalk. It was like, this is crazy.
Damn.
What about you? What about you, Dustin?
I was trying to think. I mean, the only thing that really stands out is you're cruising around somewhere in the middle of the night. It's pitch black.
Oh, I got one for you.
No one's supposed to be out there. There's nothing. You said lights in the sky and stuff. Seen all that,
Yeah.
lights in the sky, and you don't know really what's going on. But you just see it like a bonfire and silhouettes dancing around it or whatever off in the distance. And it's like 2-3 in the morning. You're like, I don't think that's supposed to be happening right now. I don't know. Now, it's probably just a field party happening of kids having fun or whatever, but I don't want to get close enough to figure it out.
Depends on if you're on the res or not.
We had played in Phoenix, right outside of Scottsdale, one of those cities. And the next night we were going to head up towards Colorado, and so we were going to go towards Flagstaff, and then cut over. And somehow or another, I was just following my GPS, and it was one of those where it's like it got to be kind of late at night. Everybody had kind of snuck back to their bunks, and I'm just kind of in the driver's seat by myself, and I'm listening to my GPS, and it takes me to exit and go this route, and so I find myself cutting through this like national park and hitting this peak at like 14,000 feet elevation. Wow! And I had never experienced altitude sickness like that before.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm like, man, did I eat something? I don't know what is going on. And I pulled over, and it's like probably 4 in the morning. I'm at like 14,000 feet, and I go outside the car to start throwing up because it makes you nauseous.
Yeah.
Like you got to throw up. So I'm like leaning on the bus, and I'm like throwing up. I'm like, ugh. And I think I got myself back together, and I turn around, and I'm surrounded by elk. Like,
oh wow!
Like there must have been 500 of them, just like had come out from the forest where I was at the top of this mountain and started crossing the road. And for like the next, several miles over this peak, I'm literally only able to go like 5 or 10 miles, and I'm honking my way through elk, and the guys are waking up like, what's going on? I'm like, there's elk everywhere. And then I'm fucking altitude sick as fuck, and that was like miserable. It was like being seasick, I guess.
Yeah.
Crazy scary, and those things are big. You don't realize how big those elk are.
Giant,
bull
especially
elks.
up there.
Yeah. I've never taken that. You did come down, and I ended up where that came out. That road, just to put a cherry on it, was at the corner of Winslow in Arizona. So it's like you could
nice
at that corner is
yeah.
where that comes out on Route 66. I was like,
Yeah.
So
There was
made it worthwhile.
Speaking of 287 up through Colorado, we were coming back through there. This is back when we did the van trip. seen a lot of crazy shit on the roads. Met a lot of crazy people. A lot of crazy. I mean, fuck Banff, Canada. Like, met one of the craziest sons of bitches I've ever met in my life in an Airbnb that we ended up staying. Fuck this, and went and got a hotel. But I'll have to research the name back and put it in the description of the town. But we're coming back, and we took that 287 side where it's all just flat, you know, as far as you can see, flat, and we stop in this, just some rando town, tiny, and you can kind of see the town off in the distance, and it's little bitty, and there's this little truck stop gas station, and I walk inside, and the first thing I'm greeted with is this smell of just raw meat, like that. It's like they're running a butcher shop in the back of this place, but you can't see any raw meat anywhere, and it just smells. And there was this weird dude, like, as we're walking in, just looked like a derelict, like sitting by the front door. And he didn't even budge as we went through the door, and we get inside and we go in and this and that. We come back out. This other dude comes up and he's like, "Hey man, can I catch a ride with you guys? If you're headed to Texas, can I catch a ride with you guys?" I was like, "No, man, we're kind of stacked up in here, and you know, we're just gonna make the trek, you know, whatnot." Weeks later, home, bored, watching documentaries, and I think the documentary was something like My Crazy Neighbor or some crazy shit like that. Anyway, it brings up this town in Colorado, up north of the Panhandle, just past the Panhandle of Oklahoma, like just past that.
Right.
And it was talking about this town and this dude, this crazy motherfucker was going around and he was killing people and he almost offed himself and he had this whole thing. And they show part of the town and they show this gas station, like this is where he would pick victims at.
Oh my God.
And that was it. That was that gas station. And I was like,
was he wearing someone else's skin?
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been.
Yeah.
The dude that was hunched over there at that.
He's probably dead.
Probably dead. You know, but they talk about like now this town is like a lawless town. Like you're in this no man's land when you're out there.
Yeah.
Like there's no sheriffs, there's no stadies, there's no nothing out that way. And there's towns like that are all across the U.S. that people don't realize that are really out there, but they are out there. And we got some shit coming up this year where we're going to be going up through the Appalachians.
Oh, good luck.
And I'm like, oh, great.
We played this show up there in Pipestem called Metal in the Mountains, and it's like in the middle of like, I mean, you hear all of that going off, and it's so hard to get to, but when you get there, it's like the most amazing music venue festival thing this guy's set up for him up in the mountains, and they do other shows, but Metal in the Mountains up in Pipestem.
Yeah.
Did you ever play, either one of y'all, play, it was an event, it was in Arkansas, it's up in the Pig Trail, God, it's a metal concert that happens up there. I don't even know if it's still happening. That's where, and it might not be.
Not in Arkansas.
It was like the
Ozarks or something, maybe.
Something that was kind of Irish, kind of like the Blarney Stone or something like that. But it was, we've
only done like Fort Smith, Arkansas, is like Steel Horse biker. Done a lot of biker rallies and things like that, but not too much out in the middle of the
Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Is that where?
That's where the college is.
No,
University
I don't
of
think we ever played. Might have done Fayetteville.
Awesome town. They got a bunch of venues.
Fort Smith, Arkansas, a lot though. But
that's just south of it.
Little Rock, the Rev Room. Little Rock played there quite a bit, but not too much of. We did I did a private. I don't want to mention the name of the club, but a private biker club. Party. And that was out in the middle of kind of nowhere. And it was one of those things where, they were providing all the sound and all the stuff. We were just a, private entertainment showing up and doing the thing. And then I remember playing the show. And I should have like got the money first, but like we played the show. And then like at the end of the day, I'm just going to get the money. Like a couple dudes took me out back and were like, "Hey, we ain't paying you,
Jeez.
And I was like, "Ain't nothing you're gonna do about it either." And I was like, "No, I guess not." You know. And
that concert
sucked.
we played in the, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's in Arkansas. It was in Pig Trail. It was a steel stage, and when I mean steel, I mean steel plates, the whole nine.
Sure.
Put this whole thing together, and it was crazy because the stage itself, the rust was on there, so it was all over your shoes when you're touching your pedals. It's all over your
cables,
shit. Right.
everything. I hate that shit, bro.
I remember when we came, there was a storm coming in, and there was this mountain ridge. You're kind of down this valley, and I see this storm starting to peek over the top of the hill, and I'm like, man, we're on stage playing. I'm just like, this isn't good. We got like 2 songs left, 3 songs. So we finish up our set, and I just turned to the guys, I'm like, get your shit off the stage, let's roll. And there's like a ramp that goes down, and goes right into our trailer, and we're just wheeling maces and shit just down, getting in the trailer. The other band that's going on after us is loading on the other ramp on the there was 2 ramps side by side, one up, one down. Yeah. Right. And so they're going up the other side, and they're going up the ramp, and they're loading on stage. I'm like, you guys really should probably wait. There's a lightning storm coming in. Like, this is crazy. And they're like, nah, man, it always passes. It always gets to like the ridge up here. They're local. They're like, always gets to the ridge up here, and then it stops. So no, we're good, man. It'll just get windy, and it might sprinkle a little bit. And we're like, okay, dude, whatever. And we're packing our shit. We're ready to go. Like, we had another gig in Hot Springs after that the next day, and we're like, no, let's just get down to Hot Springs and let's just get the fuck out of here. We've already been paid, Lightning strikes the fucking stage. Woo! With all of that band on there, and we watched it happen. We were all in the van.
They get hit? Like they get hurt?
Oh, they absolutely, yeah. Oh, wow. 2 of them died.
No shit.
And 3 of them ended up like horribly, horribly burnt. Dang. Like, they were standing there, like, putting their shit just in mid motion, and it struck that hole, and it sounded like a fucking like a mortar went off right next to it. It was so loud when it happened. But I remember looking at the stage and just watching these dudes tense up and then just fall over. Yeah. Wow. And they couldn't go up on the stage and get them.
No.
They had to sit there for a minute.
Hit them with a stick.
Right. Like, hey, man, get up.
That's some wild shit, man. That is some wild shit.
That's the craziest shit I've ever seen in a show.
That's pretty
Do you remember the name of the band?
It was like some local punk rock band.
Ride the Lightning.
Yeah. Now they are.
Too soon.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
It's been 20 years.
Oh, well, no, they're not soon enough.
Well, it's been 40 years since the bus accident.
Right.
Always got to bring this up.
Always got to bring this up.
Well, I will say that, through all of my years, I've knock on wood, I've never knock on something. I've always successfully brought the band back, and I've always prided myself in the fact that whether it's my band or like your band or whatever, it's like I take this serious, So when I'm driving that thing,
you do.
I do take it very serious because I know that's not just you got wives and girlfriends. Everybody's like worried about what you guys are doing on the road and if you're safe or not. So it's a big responsibility when you
we'll
load
be
up.
Calling you for that bus action here pretty quick.
Yeah, buy it from me. Just
I don't want to buy it.
Just buy it.
I don't want to drop $30,000.
It is literally the best it's ever been right now. And when it comes back from paint, it'll be the best it's ever been. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to get rid of it, but at the same time, it's like I do have it rented. I do have a rental. I have Danny Warsnop. So I'm going to be taking out in March and April and doing his country thing. Trying to talk him into buying it. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I had a question for you.
Okay.
If you could pass on a message, because you are playing the role of producer,
right,
and you're working with other bands, and you're working, not so much in the. And I could be wrong here, but like the management aspect.
Yeah.
If you could pass on a bit of knowledge to the musicians of today and going forward, something that might help them in the do's and don'ts.
Quit now while you're ahead. I'm compelled to do music. There's nothing that's going to ever stop me from doing that. So yeah, if there's one thing, God, they're so hard. Understand, I will say this. Here's one thing I will say, and this will speak specifically to the guys in the band who are the guys. And, who I mean if you are the guy. If you are the guy in the band, embrace the role as the guy in the band, and study what it means to be a leader or be somebody who's in a executive level of a operation, so to speak, so that you can empower your team, i.e. your band or your crew or everybody that's basically involved in the operation, to be the best they can. Because I started early out in my years really not wanting to be the guy. I was the guy. I was reluctantly the guy. I was the guy who, fine, fuck it, I'll do it. Nobody else will fucking do it. I'll drive the goddamn. Fuck you, you know what I mean? And so I had all this like emotional anger and resentment all built up. And I just realized at some point I'm the guy because I'm the best guy for the job. And if I would, I guess what I would say is, if you are the guy, embrace that role and understand and read a book or two on what it means to be a leader and how to empower your team, and embrace that. And the most important thing from all that is just be a good disseminator of information, because, oftentimes, as you may know, being the guy in your band,
Yep.
To be a creative, you have to think so far in advance. There's so many things in advance that are happening that you have to think about. That's, again, you close your eyes, you visualize something, and then over time you manifest it, and then it becomes a song, becomes a video, becomes a tour, becomes a thing. But it started here, right? Mm-hmm. And when it's here, it can't be anywhere else until I tell you, hey, I have this idea. And so I did a lot of leading my band from the point of view for many years of that kind of resentment building, and I had a lot of emotional attachment to a lot of decisions I was making. I realized it's not their fault. They just don't know. And then sometimes it's like shit happens so fast that you don't have time to tell everybody, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? You just got to make the decision, and you just got to trust. So I would say, as much time as whatever job you do in the band, if you're the bass player, guitar player, it doesn't matter who you are in the band. But if you spend time practicing that craft, also spend a fair amount of time understanding what it means to lead a band, because it takes a team, but it also takes, one person who's got a good, clear understanding of where they're going to drive the proverbial bus, if you will.
Right.
That makes any sense.
Totally.
I like that. Yeah, that's
that,
good. And have your own weed roller.
And bring your own joint tech.
Yeah, bring a joint tech.
Always have a joint tech on standby.
Always.
For sure. Because honestly, I'm too busy. I need somebody to roll those joints for me.
Just to think if I had a key monitor.
Yeah.
Just a key.
A key monitor.
Every 30 minutes, versus every 3.
Yeah.
It was so much money saved.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's well worth it, because, a happy Maddox on tour is a happy tour. So
there you go. I had something I want to throw out before we get out of here.
Sure.
All right.
I found this out just before we started the show. This
right.
just came down, I think, today. Y'all ever go out to Ranger games on their theme nights?
I have not been, but I want to go see a banana game.
I do want. I want to see a banana game
guys.
too.
Yep.
And there's one coming, right?
I think we're getting a team.
Are we getting? I know there's a Texas team already.
I think we got one. Do we have one?
And it's like the entire state of Texas.
Yeah.
But I think they're supposed to play each other.
I want to go see a banana game once. I'm not into baseball so much, but let's hear what you got.
So every year they've got theme nights, and I've been going the last couple of years for like Stars Night.
Okay.
They do a hockey jersey.
Yeah.
That's for the Stars and the Rangers.
Okay.
It's a collab.
That's
so
cool.
like a couple of years ago was the big Panther or the Peagle, the Panther Eagle thing on the front, and they do it for every team. They do it for they do different hat nights. This year they're actually going to do an IndyCar, since they're big Indy race in
the GP
Arlington.
thing's happening. Yeah.
So you can get an IndyCar jacket that's Rangers themed. And then this is what, as I'm cruising through here, because there's different plans you can buy right now. They're 10-game plans. As I'm cruising through here, I was looking at them, and they have this DFW Metroplex plan. So you can get a Whataburger jersey, a Cowboys jersey, a Stars jersey, a Mexican Heritage jersey, a soccer jersey,
Throw it up on the
a
screen.
Mavericks jersey. Oh yeah. Here, I'm trying not to show the
Oh yeah,
the giveaway, but
Okay.
see, here you go. You've got the different collabs.
I like the hockey one over there.
Yeah, that one looks good.
that's
The last few years, it's been the khaki and black to go with the City Select jerseys, and you got the soccer Mavericks, FC Dallas, a Bluebell jersey.
Okay.
All right.
But at the top of this DFW local list, on April 4th against the Cincinnati Reds, you can get a Leon Bridges bobblehead.
What?
No way.
No way.
Yeah.
A
that's great.
Leon Bridges bobblehead at the Ranger game.
Good for Leon Bridges.
I mean, there you go, Leon. Just
You know?
That's
I live across the street from the grotto, where the grotto used to be, and I spent.
R.I.P. the Grotto.
Yeah, that was my
the grotto.
spot. I literally still live across the street from there now, and I used to sit on my front porch and can hear him performing, his little solo acoustic thing way back in the day before that first album ever came out.
Yep.
And I'm happy for that guy. He's got so much talent, and I'm glad that he's having all the success that he's having because, we need somebody.
I'm going to agree with you, but at the same time, I think for a bobblehead, there could have been way more people
Sure.
to tip the hat to.
Sure, you could have
For
made
Texas.
a lot of different bobbleheads, but I think what else are you gonna give away? What are you gonna give away for Leon Bridges?
Well, I hope that baby just starts a trend. Like, man, okay,
Yeah.
well, there's Leon. Maybe we'll do one for Stevie Ray, or we'll do one for
Oh, okay.
Oh,
a
local.
dime bag.
dime bag.
A dime bag.
Vinny-
I mean, that's Arlington.
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
top of
it.
No, they're not gonna.
Dime bag in.
The Dallas
Vinny.
Stars
Vinny.
still use the Dallas Stars theme song though.
They do.
That they made
Totally.
for them. So who knows?
Yeah. I just
Interesting. Leon of all
That's
things.
crazy.
He got a street header in Fort Worth. They gave him like a header of a street.
right in
name.
front of the old shipping and receiving.
Yeah, the studio,
where,
yep.
Nile City recording
Yep.
is. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Well, good for him. I mean,
That's interesting. Bobblehead. You can get
Leon bobblehead. That's
get you a little Leon bobblehead. I wonder what it's going to look like.
I don't know.
well.
Interesting. You're jealous. You want your own bobblehead, don't you?
No.
Yeah.
No. They would reverse mine. It would just be my belly jiggling around. That's what,
A jiggle belly.
Jiggle belly. I'm in for one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little one of those little hula.
Oh yeah.
But she's a little chunky because I like a little chunky. So
Hey.
There you go. There you go.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. Well, Maddox, man, thank you so much for being a part of
Yeah.
episode 1.
yeah,
This is-
we've been doing a podcast this whole time.
We have. It
I
didn't
felt
feel
like we've
it.
just been hanging out.
That's
Just been
the
hanging
cool
out
part.
talking. Yeah.
All right.
That's the part
Fair
about
enough.
it, man. We love.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to return the flavor one day and be on the Edge podcast, and we'll just do this. But
Yeah, man,
Different.
we'd love to. Be great.
The other way.
the other
Flip the
way.
coin back around the other way.
We'll flip it back around.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in, man. It's awesome.
Got to give another shout out to everybody that followed us. Man, thank you guys so much.
Thank
Over 300 subscribers this past week. Over 1,000 views on each video.
Yeah, it's
you guys
crazy.
are awesome. Thank you so much. If you have not, please like, subscribe, and hit the ring notification on YouTube. If you're watching on there, we're also on Podbean. You can find us at panthercityrebellion.podbean.com. If you want to just listen while you're going down the road, it's available everywhere. So thank you.
You don't even have
guys.
to go that hardcore. You can just put Panther City Rebellion in there or PCR Podcast and it will come up.
There it is.
PantherCityRebellion.com, PCRPodcast.com.
There it is.
And my cup is still available.
For ads.
Yes.
Get it.
Yes, we're looking for sponsorship.
Sponsor this
Come on.
joint.
Sponsor this joint.
Sponsor this joint right here. I
Yeah.
can't believe this joint has survived this whole podcast.
Yeah, we'll see if we can crop in on that in post.
Yeah.
Since we don't have Zoom functions.
Yep.
Well, badass, dude. Well, thank you for joining us,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Thank you.
dude.
Rock and roll.
And you guys stay safe out there in the podcast world.
Follow
Let's get
me.
the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Later.